just copying something. Um,
Token. What's that?
but yeah, no. I definitely recommend when you get into college using something like Write My Professor,
Oh, that's what I forgot to look at.
so you can look
Oh.
up all of your professors because trust me, you're gonna want to know what type of grade. Well, I mean, I don't really pay attention to like the rating they give their the teachers, because like I've had teachers that had a 1 rating that were supposed to be shit, and honestly they were some of the best teachers I've had. It's more of you pay attention to what's in the comments, like, oh, this teacher assigns homework last minute, or my favorite, this is the best one, my finance teacher for this next term, for finance 300 and something, I can't remember what level, what number it was, bless you.
Thank
um
you.
he doesn't allow electronics in the classroom. His tests are open book, and he curves, but he reads about 4 to 5 chapters out of the finance textbook every class from the PowerPoint, word for word, with no enthusiasm.
Hmm.
But the tests are open book, and he curves hard. So even if you get an F, you're like a 50% on the thing, you're likely to get a B. And oh no, will people show up today? We'll see. And he also lets you, like I said, with the book being open book, you can put sticky notes everywhere you need to be. He lets you use your personal notes from the as long as they're in the textbook, so you have to write in the margins, which means you can't return the book. But honestly, if it means an A, I'm willing to take it. Yeah. So there are a lot of options. Someone message Cameron, wake his ass up. But yeah,
Zaya, that's your job.
Yeah, I'm now the designated Cameron Waker Upper.
pretty much.
Cameron Waker out there. That you need a
I'm
new
gonna have
title.
to like make it so when I call him, my ringtone for on his phone is just the most annoying, loud, obnoxious thing, so he always hears it or
That works.
something.
Or get it that Alarmy Clock app where it makes you take a picture of your sink or your refrigerator to turn it off.
That's what? What? I haven't heard about this.
If you have an Android, it's a great app.
I don't.
Although you have to pay for it. God, why would you buy Apple products? Apple is such shit.
Ask my. Hey, to be
No.
fair, when I was young, my mom was the one who got us on Apple. So I just followed in her footsteps. So blame parents.
Yeah, they're terrible. Apple is god awful. I will never buy an Apple product. I am against it fully. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Apple Watches are cool, and the AirPods are cool, but Samsung has all that stuff, and it's usually like $100 cheaper. And if you knew as much as I did about the Apple supply chain, you'd also understand why you wouldn't want to buy from them. Back in the day, don't get me wrong, when I was a youngin', and Dolkin, I don't know how old you are, so I think you said you were 24, right?
28.
28?
I've been through college. I know.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't hear like half of what you just said, man. I'm gonna be honest.
It
Very
probably helps when my
quiet.
head is.
There you
Helps my head microphone is not up on top of my head.
go. So, what'd you say? You're how old?
28.
28. Okay, so you're actually the oldest person in the group now, officially.
I can leave. Is that fine?
Well, no, because then I'll go back to being the oldest guy here. And we're only
You
about
make
2
me
years
feel like
apart,
old.
so. Um. But anyway, so yeah, what was I saying? Back in the day, Apple used to be really good because, well, I mean, we had to use everything, or we had to use it in our schools and everything. Like that's what they used in most of the computer labs. Those fat backs with the nice, pretty colors in the back that you take your pencil and jab it into the speakers and tear them out, or jam up the CD player. Great students at a ghetto school. Uh, but yeah, those were good products. And the old iPods and iPod Nano were amazing, but the modern day stuff, no. What's wrong with them putting up nets so that their factory workers can't commit? Technically, they're not their factory workers. Apple, and that's Nike, not that happened with, not Apple. Apple does not have a single factory. they contract through everything. So every piece that you get gets contracted out to someone, and then that person subcontracts out to further people, and then you end up with issues like in Malaysia where they've got these new child labor laws going on. And now Apple's all screwed for a lot of things, and a lot of their products are having to be called back because of issues that they're not getting the or the right amount of money, or they're not getting the products fully done or built, or they're having issues in their supply chain. It's Apple's got a terrible design. It's
It,
ingenious, but yes.
is it also why there's like manufacturing errors? Because I know with my
Mhm.
phone type, the 6S or whatever, I've heard a bunch of stuff online and with friends that sometimes there's like this glitch. I've been told it's an electrical problem where like the screen will for a second stop registering touch,
Yep.
and you gotta kind of like wait it out. So that was that be because of that, or just
Yes. When
bad
you
design in general?
when you subcontract, oh, it could be bad design. But when you subcontract out, you don't know how good the quality of the parts are going to be. A lot of the companies that they do subcontract out of, or subcontract down to, they're not actually working with themselves. It's their contractors who are. So Apple allows their chain to keep expanding, and the way they do this is so that they have multiple chains that people pretty much over or watch the whole thing overall. I want to say Overwatch, but don't want to make the concept of bring that concept of that game into the world. All right, someone message E2 to get in here. And so when one supply chain goes down, they have another one to basically pick up the slack with that. But there's also the problem that now overburdens the slack, or overburdens that supply chain, which causes even more stuff to have to rush out, and then they end up with less safety requirements, and more manufacturing errors. So yeah, overall, it's a very bad idea to. I mean, when Apple first started doing this, it was brilliant, and that's how they're able to make so much money. But that's also why they have to charge so much for their phones, is because of the fact that they have to pay their contractors, and those contractors have to pay their subcontractors. So everything gets raised up in requirement of amount of money paid for it. Which in the end, honestly, it'd probably be cheaper at this point to just do it themselves. In house, but then they couldn't take the whole tax break of being the greenest company in the U.S.
Huh.
But yeah,
Did you just diplomatic furry?
he's not wrong.
I mean, yeah.
E2 is the only character or D&D player I've ever had that has managed or has chosen to avoid a fight in D&D.
Well, to be fair though, if it wasn't for Ven, her character would have died by now.
Actually, it was kind of
So
because of Ven that she almost died. Ven
she,
moves farther than she does. She wouldn't have gotten hit with that rock. She would have seen it go in front of her.
oh.
Ven got hit because of that. I mean, you did. Hey,
Oh.
don't get me wrong. You did well, Cameron, to throw her and understand, use your immortality for good. But still.
Well, he can't, you know, seduce her if she's dead. So maybe there was personal motive there behind the reasoning. Just saying.
Now the question is it because Cameron has a thing for Phil, or is it because Cameron's playing the character?
That
Doesn't
is the
he have a
question.
girlfriend?
I don't know. Cameron, do you still have that girlfriend in New York that you keep telling us about?
Yeah, the
rich one?
that's
Yep.
yeah.
Someone needs to send her
No,
links to the stream.
I need to see this woman. I need to see this chick. Otherwise, I won't believe it. Cameron,
Oh, she does what?
she watches under what
How
alias?
fun.
What's
Oh
her
yeah,
name? Huh?
she's been on the channel before. I remember that. I just don't believe Cameron that she's rich. So, if she's rich and she's good looking, you know what? I'll give credit down to Cameron. But I don't think, given Cameron's background and the way I've always heard about him and the way he speaks, I don't. Mm-mm. But I guess we do have to remember beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Cameron, I have full faith that you could get a girlfriend. I just don't think you are that charismatic to nail a pretty rich woman. Just like I don't think
Didn't happen.
I don't think I'm charismatic enough to do it either, though. So.
Don't got the
I'm-
bard.
Well, it takes a good body, something that they're attracted to, and it also takes a lot of charisma that matches up real well, which the average person doesn't have. So if she's sheltered, it could be she's sheltered. There's options here, but I just highly doubt it. Given the Cameron I know, I have full
Cameron,
faith.
you-
My charisma changes based on how I deal with people. And, well, all I've ever known you as is a bit of a little bitch. So, Dilkin, apologies. I know that when you hear all this, you think I'm being mean. We are friends. Don't worry.
I mean,
I-
yeah, he is very.
I totally
brutally
told you guys
honest.
that. I haven't heard anything you've been talking about.
Oh, okay, no worries then.
Wow.
Yeah, feel free to keep
It's
ignoring us.
fine.
Just plug in about 23
Yeah.
minutes. But yeah, no. I mean, Cameron, given the way I've known you, man, I don't see it happening. I believe you have a
see-
girlfriend. I believe you have one in New York. Sure, I can see it, but I just don't believe that she's wealthy and or good looking. One of the
Has-
two, but yes.
What's the hurricane status down in like Florida? Because I know Sue lives there,
Uh,
where it's supposed to be going.
Trent told me it was hitting when he was streaming earlier.
So, because that might be why she's not responding, is what I'm thinking.
I see Ven has 3 HP. Sounds like everything is normal. Come on, Trent, do you believe that Cameron has a pretty girlfriend that's also rich? I mean, to be fair though, we have seen Stranger. Trent actually got himself a cute girlfriend, so I'm still shocked about that.
To be fair, if she's
Given
into
his egghead.
selling organs on the black market, you get a lot of money for organs.
Not
so.
of Cameron. Everything seems to be broken on Cameron.
Well,
First he's
I'm not saying on
club-footed.
Karen. I'm just saying she doesn't have to have a legal job that gets her a lot of money.
Oh, that's true.
There's other options,
That's true.
you know.
I had a good few friends who were very wealthy when we were in high school. I don't know. I mean, Cameron, I give you full credit if you did it. I mean, stranger
That
things have
tone
happened.
Ominous.
I just don't highly doubt. I am a staunch believer anything can happen if you believe it hard enough. Also, the fact that Tren used his Dr. Eggman powers to get to completely convince and hypnotize poor Tracy. Yeah, we call him Dr. Eggman because Trent's head looks like an egg. That's why it's that
He
instead of Robotnik.
does, though. He does.
If you
And
send
I
your
still
face
wonder-
to this group, you will get roasted.
He's
I
like,
mean,
Fair warning.
okay.
Hey,
he's
to
like
be fair,
Dr. Eggman's
no.
illegitimate little son.
If you if you think it's only me just picking on Trent, the first thing Wolf and Fuka did as soon as they got access to my Facebook was pull up my fucking prison picture of me. And this was a Halloween outfit, I want to clarify.
Yo,
I was
that
in a
was
Halloween
fucking
outfit, and this is
hilarious.
before I went to juvie. So, I'm sitting there holding up
Foreshadowing.
yeah, no kidding. But yeah, so they give me shit all the time. I have that picture
Yo,
saved. Yeah, you do,
were-
Trent. I
that
know you
was
do.
You look so fucking dweebish.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn.
And that was right after I just shaved too, so you didn't have to see my terrible porno stash.
Oh god.
I had like the really cheesy thin like teenage stash going on. Oh, it was so bad. Imagine a day when I couldn't grow a beard at all. Ah, I don't miss those days. Oh, hey, Phil.
She's
Hi.
here. Hello.
But yeah,
Don't worry, I wasn't gonna miss out on anything.
How are things with the hurricane? Are you safe?
Yeah, it's kind of already passed.
good to hear. But yeah, no, Cameron, I really don't believe it. I do not believe it in the slightest. And Trent doesn't look like MJ. Not at all. He's
Don't
too
trust
tan.
them. They're just trying to get you to send pictures of your girlfriend, Cameron.
Oh no, I don't want to see his girlfriend. Not in the slightest. Because I don't want to see I don't want to imagine him with a 16-year-old girl. Or maybe she's, very sheltered. I've been told I look like Keanu Reeves. Yongu. You mean young? Young Keanu Reeves? No, Trent, you don't. Not in the slightest.
Not at all.
No, Keanu Reeves is good looking. Oh, actually, in his younger days, I mean, I don't know how, other than Dulkin here, I don't know how many of you have actually seen the Ted.
Oh
fuck.
god, babies stop crying finally.
What was his name? It was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. So
No.
that would be a young Keanu. Trent, you don't look anything like him. You've got an egghead. You look like what Dr. Eggman would look like.
Don't be mean.
It's not mean. No, it's the honest truth. I'm not being an asshole.
Don't, that's even worse.
He doesn't look like a young Kano. He looks like what Dr. Eggman would actually look like in real life.
Stop.
I've been told by like 6 people. Yeah, those 6 people have never seen Bill and Ted. Good movie, by the way. For those who haven't seen the series, you should definitely go check that out. It'll make you laugh. Although a lot of you may not get the humor from the younger groups. No, so Cameron, now I am curious. We will see one day what this girlfriend looks like.
Yeah, never.
Oh.
I'm not gonna be like trying to post a picture of my girlfriend.
Oh no,
sorry.
you don't have to post pictures. I'll end up running into you sometime.
Oh gosh, ominous.
That's more terrifying than the end of the world.
That's so scary.
No,
I
you'll
mean,
end up...
I hope the world ends when that happens. That way, I have her with me.
You want the world to end and me be near you at the same time? That's a really bad idea for you.
I mean, I just have to run faster than Trent to survive. So.
You know, it's really hard to outrun a bullet.
No.
Or a
that's when I
very
pull Trent
annoyed
in front of
DM.
me.
Cameron, how many toes does she have? Oh, catch you later, Trent.
Jesus Christ.
Cameron,
I'm not gonna play this game.
we give you shit because we gave Trent shit too. I mean, we gave him crap until he posted a picture of Tracy. I mean, the whole joke was it was Terry. So, gonna go get ice cream with Tracy. Tell Terry I say hi. And that Wolf wants the dress back.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, he has to return it to his sister, doesn't he?
I wouldn't talk about Wolf's sister, I'll be honest. I'll be
Yo,
100% honest.
Because Wolf has connections
Wo-
everywhere.
Well, it's not just that, it's the fact that Wolf is the type of guy who gets real upset about family stuff, so that's why we don't
Right?
joke
I
about
was
his
just saying
family.
I was just saying Terry borrowed the dress from his sister.
Alright.
So, hey Royce, do you want to
No,
call the
I'm not gonna-
ambulance now or later?
Nope. Cameron, if you
I'm
suddenly
not making-
disappear, it's not my fault. I
Not
take
my
no
fault.
responsibility.
I
We
tried
warned you.
stopping you.
Write a will now and like give me all your cool stuff before it's too late.
Maya, I
Wow.
have
Do
no
that
cool
for
Cameron-
stuff left. You know
Cameron,
that.
Go
Maya,
in the
you
will,
are a cheater.
literally write cool
Give
stuff
me
and then draw a like an ice box.
no. That icebox better have all your
Nah, man.
your laptop.
Everything that you own that can be frozen, you put in the will for her.
I mean,
And
you
say,
can.
Here's
freeze
my
a-
cool stuff.
You
I'm
can
sorry,
freeze a
but
laptop.
no one's getting my
not
laptop.
good
When
for
I
you.
die, that thing's getting burned.
God.
Burned.
See, and that tells me right there that his girlfriend that he doesn't see his girlfriend very often.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
No, it's just because I have stuff on there from her that I'm not letting anyone see.
Sure.
Delete it before you die.
Well, okay, wait now. Maya, let's go into this for a second. Let's go into this discussion for a second. Let's say you know you're gonna die. What's the first thing on your mind to do?
I don't
Gotta
know,
delete
but
my porn
I hear a
history.
lot of.
Clear the internet.
Now, there's a lot of guys
No,
I
but-
know
Scream it.
that would put in their will for that, but if you know you're gonna die, that's not the first thing you think about.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, see the problem is I'm not a dude, so it's not my first instinct.
Hey,
apparently.
Bullshit that
but-
women don't do the same shit dudes do, alright?
Right.
Wait, what are
baby.
you talking
I
about?
just-
Nothing,
you're the
Fel.
same.
Fel, just go
Okay.
back
No,
to
I
ignoring us.
wasn't- I missed it.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Clearing porn
explain it to you.
history.
It's just
Innocent
I'm not
Fel.
like most
Oh.
people.
Run, Fel, run away.
Yeah.
That's why you just go on freaking private browsing mode.
Even then,
Yeah, no, that
No,
is
'cause
the
then you
still
can't-
FBI
track it.
agent watch.
Then
From
you've
your
got
phone,
it still can
yeah.
track your stuff, and you can still get antiviruses from that because you don't have your ad blocker on incognito mode.
Okay. Then get
I
your
don't
friend
use
to
incognito mode
clear.
because I don't care if the FBI tracks what I do, what I watch on there. It's all legal.
I hope so.
You need to have a buddy system then.
Yep, that's the idea of why you write in your will.
No,
I
but
write
then
my will that this person gets my laptop.
Nope.
so you know
what if
to
your
do.
mom
No,
gets
see,
your will?
here's how you do it. You write in the will saying, I want my laptop to be cleaned or completely factory restarted before it is given to anybody as a requirement.
That's
Nothing's
so
looked up.
suspicious.
No, not at all. Because that's and if you really feel like you need to put in a discussion that you don't want any of your books, any of your ideas, or anything that could have been sold and made a lot of money off of that you came up with, being given
Whoa.
to someone else. That's how you bullshit it. Like for example, my computer has a lot of inventions that I've been working on that I've been working on getting a patent on. If I die tomorrow, I don't want it. I don't want someone using those.
Not even us.
No, God no. Especially you
Well,
lot.
not us.
The only people who know where I live at all in this group are Fuka and Wolf, so no one else.
If you go missing, we're sending Wolf to your house to raid your stuff.
Good luck.
Well,
Wolf's not gonna be
depending
here.
on the situation before, Wolf could be the reason God missing.
Yeah, that's very true. And Wolf's not here. He's over in Ohio right now, so.
Oh, Cameron,
Damn
he's
it.
closer.
Oh
Closer
yeah.
than I knew.
And I bet you I could figure out where Cameron lives and send that to Wolf later.
I can tell you the county.
That'd actually really help if you want to help me narrow it down, but I can also just track his IP address.
True, that might give you a more exact location. Besides, if I say
Cameron
anything,
goes silent.
yeah, Cameron.
I'm just pulling up Ven on my computer right now.
Uh-huh. Totally
Just
not
Just
trying to see if there's.
find a what? Googling how to block IP.
No, he's probably looking
No,
how to
I know how
ghost his
block my
IP.
I know how to block my IP. That's simple.
Blocking isn't the hard part, it's ghosting it. But anyways, yeah, no.
That's when I start using someone else's freaking internet.
Still could track it down.
You're
Wouldn't
not
be very
coming
difficult.
here to use it. I'm telling you that now.
But
Well, yeah, I'm coming over for a few days.
No,
Oni-chan,
no.
never forget.
Please forget that dead meme.
Never.
Dead beat.
Nah.
We will
Trent,
never forget
if-
how you asked her to call you Oni-chan.
If any memes were ever gonna
Wait,
die,
for real?
Uh-huh.
mention Trent.
Why?
It was for.
Cameron
wasn't
has a
there
little
for it.
sister fetish.
No, I don't.
Really?
Yes, he does.
We're not even blood related.
No,
That's
I
the
don't.
worst
We're not
part.
going into this.
Yeah.
I
no.
knew a guy that had that. It was really creepy.
I knew.
I
What
won't
happened
lie,
to
I've
the
been
guy?
around.
Well,
What happened?
To the
Hmm.
guy. Yeah,
What?
did
I'm not.
Hold
anything
up.
bad
Nope.
happen
Nope.
to
We're
What?
not going into
No,
that.
no.
Are we getting
Okay.
into this right now?
Well, Fel's got
No.
more has more knowledge on the
Shut
kinks
up,
and
shut
stuff
up,
than
shut
anybody
up.
else.
I'm just saying that doesn't
I
sound
won't be
legal.
Do you
I
guys
don't
want to
know.
hear about it? Or
I'm-
not?
Story
We'll
time.
talk about that
Story
later.
time.
Fel,
mean,
are you gonna?
apparently-
Fel, are you going into your kinks? Is that what you just offered?
No, I'll just tell you some stories about the guy. So,
Oh.
this guy, it was like one big group of friends, and we would all go onto VR chat together, and literally every single one of them had lolly models. And then one guy,
Yeah,
I know, one guy,
that. Ugh.
Oh yeah, shut up, Cameron. Like you have. If
Um,
that's not on your computer, I'm gonna bet
That's not on
you
my
have the
computer, thank you.
personality for it. Mm-hmm. Go ahead though, Fel.
they would, one of them had a private like VR chat server, and he would get all of the other friends on it, and they would all watch Lolly on this gigantic VR chat screen. And I'll never forget it. It was the creepiest and just absolutely insane thing ever.
That reminds
Well,
me.
You've
I told
seen some things.
Fel, you just reminded me of something. Oh, what was that freaking show? There was oh god, I can't remember the name of the anime, but it was some Gundam chick anime. I don't know what the fuck it was called. Anyways,
Black
it was,
Bullet?
no, it was it was what are they called? Like it was a harem anime. I remember that because that's what all I got
Sword
from it.
Art Online.
No, it was a Gundam like
That's
mechs.
not a harem.
Yes, it is. So, anyways, that reminded me of this. So we have an anime club at the PSU. I was gonna show Fuka this while when he was visiting, because I thought he'd be interested in this.
Do you go to it?
No, I don't. But I've run into them because they work out of the building I have classes in, the KMC building where my business courses are. So one day when I was walking up to work,
Is it the
No.
Blooded Orphans?
Oh boy.
The KM's no, it isn't. The KMC building is like almost all windows, as Fuka can attest to. Like one side is almost all windows. The classes are fully open, so you can see through them. On the second floor,
Oh gosh.
oh fuck, I can't remember the name of the anime. Like Lucky Star. I know there's a song to it. I'd have to pull it up later. Anyways, I see literally as I'm walking up to the other side of the building, I walk past this massive classroom where they've got on the overhead this anime blasting with this harem moment of like a little some German looking Nazi chick,
No.
some short white bobbed hair chick, and some like little, I don't know, lolly little brown hair chick with these massive like boxing gloves
No.
attacking this poor dude in a room. And there's like 7 or 8 of these kids sitting there, and I can see on the door just slightly as I'm looking off that says Anime Club. And this thing is playing for everyone to see, and this is a big enough screen that you can probably see it from the other side of the campus. And I'm just walking by,
Wait,
look up,
so
I was like,
there's
I recognize that anime from something, but
a Nazi, a what?
Here,
And
let me
Oh,
see if I can
wait,
pull it up.
I know what
boxing
you're
glove?
talking about. What?
Let
It
me
was
see.
uh,
It was a mech
it was
anime.
a little German Nazi girl.
Let me pull it up, cause there's a
Why do
strong.
you know?
There's an AMV that I listen to on occasion that plays it.
I'm
Infinite Stratos.
picturing this.
Infinite Stratos. That's what it's called.
Never heard of. Like
It's
the visual I got is amazing.
For those who want to see this, some of the scenes from this thing are here. So there you go. I posted that so you can check that. So some of the scenes from this music video were playing on this screen, and I'm just as I'm walking by, I'm like, I'm trying not to
Oh,
laugh as I'm
that
seeing this.
anime. I thought you was talking about what was it? There was a guy that got stabbed, and he was a little German Nazi girl taking over the world. That
Oh no,
one.
not Tanya the Evil. No,
I
that was
hate this a lot.
Tanya the Evil was a badass anime. For those who haven't seen it yet, that is an amazing adaptation of World War II or World War
Why
One.
is there a cat girl?
In
No.
other news, I've made it to
Why
episode
isn't there
150
a
of One
cat
Piece.
girl?
Oh God.
The real question.
Yeah, that
I'm
thing
only
playing
a
was so
little
bad.
ways into it. There are still over
Cameron, what
700
episode are you watching?
to go.
Are you on?
I'm on 150.
Yeah, there's like 800 now, dude. We're all the way up to
Yeah,
the Beastmen.
889.
Yeah, the Beastmen arc now. Although, are you watching it only in dub or sub?
I'm watching dub right now because I started in dub because I was doing housework, and if I switch mid between dub and sub, I'm gonna fuck myself over.
Yeah, when you get to, I think it's like 400, you'll have to switch over.
Nope,
Yeah, good luck with that one, man. Catching up.
582 is what it
Oh,
goes
wow.
up to, I do believe.
Jesus. Ugh. But yeah, so there's my
Nope,
fun.
574, and then the One Piece movie, Ace no Shiwa.
Yeah, and they've got a new one coming out, by the way, this year. Anyways, yeah, so the Infinite Stratos, that was interesting here. I'll post it in Twitch chat, so for those who are not in the Discord can see that. This was playing literally in the middle of campus in a very fully open window classroom, and there are chicks walking by, guys walking. The gym's literally right across. I can see into this classroom from the weight
How
room.
embarrassing.
I mean,
I've also
hey,
been watching
my
Fire
lord.
Force.
if you're into this anime, cool. Or if you're an anime, cool, and you're no wish ace. I mean, whatever you're into, man. But it was
Yeah,
just
but the normies won't understand.
yeah, that's a very unique
Pardon
one.
me,
Like
but I've been watching Doctor Stone.
that's
Fire
normal.
Force.
Yeah,
Fire Force isn't.
yeah, it is. It's a normal esque anime. It's not weird in any way.
And then I've watched
Really?
let's see,
Also,
what's another one I watched?
sad
I
for the
watched-
tragedy that came of that.
Oh, what's the name of it? I can't remember it. Crap. I better find it real quick, because if I don't, it's going to keep bugging me. This one was not fun. This one was weird,
Okay.
even for me.
There's a lot of them like that. But yeah, no. Oof. And I don't know. For those who are big into the Fire Force anime, if you didn't know, one of the reasons why there was a massive delay on the series was because of the fire at their headquarters, and it
Same
burned
thing
down
with
like
One
half the
Punch.
building. What?
Same thing with One Punch Man. They still haven't
Yeah.
posted any new episodes for that.
Well, they probably won't either. After some of the threats and stuff they've had in the past, it's just not a good situation.
I think during the arson, the creator of One Punch Man died while the arson was happening, while the building was on fire.
That would make me feel bad.
Let me look.
Oh, I haven't heard about this.
Monster Masamune, there it is.
Oh,
Masamune.
no. One of the artists' father died. Let me look. See what their wiki says. Who's the creator? Written by one. Yeah. Well, yeah. So the guy who draws it, his father died, but he's still alive.
He's probably just in a bereavement period right now.
Yeah, and it's
And I'm
still
not gonna be upset about
and it's
that.
still considered running. They've got 20 volumes, but he's probably taken the time off while dealing with that. Although
I
that was
watched
also a
Mob
short-lived
Psycho the other
series.
day. I binge watched all of that, and it's like,
Jesus.
well,
Yeah,
I feel terrible now.
I can't binge watch any of that stuff anymore. I just never have the time. Just like I should be finishing up my last paper for this damn philosophy of education class. For those people who are interested in college, and to bring this back around, if you are one of my fans or on the Twitch channel and have questions and going to college at all, feel free to come and ask us. Myself, Wolf, Fuka, and apparently now Dolkin are all college students or college graduates. So, and we are more than happy to give what advice we can. So. My advice is never to do it, but then that would be kind of a waste. All right, would you guys like to start since everyone's here?
Yep, I'm ready.
Dolkin, are you alive still?
I'm as ready as I will be.
I am here.
Okay. As you kind of clocked out in the background. All right, let us.
Toning us out.
Well, I mean.
Sorry, I'm playing Slay the Spire.
Oh, but good game. But if you're gonna be distracted the entire time, I'm gonna be very offended as the DM.
Yep.
Prepare to be offended.
All right,
So if you're gonna
ranks
do it,
up
just don't let
difficulty
him
to
know.
10. All right, let me start. One sec. Let me go on to the D&D menu. Let me go see if I can't find
Can
some
you
CR20
just target
monsters.
him
No,
specifically?
I mean, hold on, I have some saved.
no, I got it. We're good. I mean, I've got plenty. Let's see. Let's start finding monsters that are terrifying to throw at him at CR level 20. Oh, hey, here's a
I mean,
CR
Constructs would
31.
be worse.
There we go.
Oh no.
Constructs would be the worst because they don't really have any weaknesses.
I think I know a fun one that's called a Death Jester. It's like a CR 20 something. Oh.
I mean, if I really want to be an asshole, I'll just throw 5 level 20 player characters at you guys. Anyways, all right, let's begin as always. Last time we left off was last Wednesday. Apologies for missing out this last Sunday. We had a few technical difficulties and decided to postpone. We will be going back to our normally scheduled Sundays, mostly because the DM will not be able to do Wednesday shifts or Wednesday games after this. So,
Fuka, how's your mic?
DM's got homework. Oh yes, last time we left off, we had that Dolkin's computer was his internet was going out. Thankfully, that's fixed. E2 was worried about a hurricane, and Fuka here's Mike was lighting himself on fire. Now he's gone from a creamy color to a charred color.
Racist.
Hey, I can only
Wow.
say that because I'm an asshole and because we're friends. And because I will never forgive you for leaving 5 minutes before game to go get laid
Oh,
by
you want to talk
in a
about
car with a stranger in a place you've never been.
leaving. Let's see.
Go off.
Saturday. Let's
Better
see.
start
How
raising
long
the
have you been
rating
in the
on this.
room with what's her name again?
What?
You want to go there? How long have you been in the room on Saturday during an hour before game day?
I didn't do anything an hour before game.
Really? With Rachel? Really?
Did I?
Yes, you did.
I don't
Fight,
recall at this point.
fight,
That was
fight.
so long
Really?
ago.
Really?
Wow.
So if you want to give me shit, buddy boy.
Yes, I do, because you did it twice. All right, back to
Oh,
game.
you-
So we last time we left off, the group had managed to make port at a gnomish town that was on no map, that they could recall and had not been here when Isaiah had passed through here last time. The city had been surrounded by what looked to be the Black Widow's army, and the poor defenseless lord that no one ever figured out the name of was doing all he could to hold the walls along with his army. This is also where the group would run into the Bloodthirsty Dwarves, mercenary group led by Greg the Bloodthirsty, last known to be the guild member of guild leader of the Crimson Talon. As well, at last second, they ran into Tenem, or as many of the players know him as 10X, who was much fitter, along with his joyous little partner Kilxius and his associate, the young elven boy that everyone keeps mistaking for a maiden.
Almost had a crossover episode, but not quite yet, guys.
Well, Robert wasn't here, unfortunately, to
So
bring in
close.
to play Kilxius. Somehow he has vanished. So the group managed
Wait,
to
was
hold
he
off.
supposed to?
He was going to be. But so we did
That'd
lose.
be a reunion.
Oh God. So we did have last time where the group managed to hold the walls for quite a while, managing to get a good amount of XP and cutting down mini gnomes as they held the walls. Dolkin doing his fair share, and then having to go and save poor Ven and E2. E2 who had been crushed by a rock, and Ven who was, well, paste. After
I became paper mache.
After
it was
ga-
more like a ketchup stain.
after regaining his composure, then E2 and Dolkin decided it would be best to retreat as the walls were breached, the gate was breached, and both the north and southern walls had fallen. As they ran for the boats, it was around the same time that Zaya and Zaris decided to retreat as well, charging off on their own, leaving Greg the Bloodthirsty there, along with his mercenary group, to hold a small circle at the gate, along with Tenem and his crew, and the Lordling in the middle. Upon reaching the boat, along with about 25 other gnomish soldiers, the Dolkin began healing up all he could, while Zaris decided to play the greed card and turn himself into an eagle, charging off into the distance towards where the gate was and where the last two parties defending the town were, attempting to steal the lordling for ransom or to to grab him in for protection payment. Unfortunately, Zaris would meet his end as he got shot with over 80 arrows and around 20 crossbow
40.
bolts. Well, the number goes up as the DM tells the
And
story.
scarred Zaya for life, even more so than she already has.
Well, I
As
mean, it's how
the
a bard would tell
DM
it.
continues to talk, thank you. The poor Zaris drop to the ground. Zaya only seeing the body get bolted, lurching unnaturally and slamming into the ground, crushing and killing the poor lordling, before vanishing permanently. Last we heard, Zaris had been taken by Greg the Bloodthirsty and his bloodthirsty dwarves. Now the party finds themselves heading up the coast of the Gnomish lands, towards one of the main rivers to head inland towards the capital that is still being ran by the Gnomish throne, according to the person who has been put in charge of the boat. A young sergeant who seems to be more scared than anything else. The group finds themselves waking to the morning, to a nice morning air. It's a cool day. About 9 a.m. The sun is up. It's turning out to be warmer with clear skies and a nice smell of water, or of the fresh water on the air overall. The soldiers are very grateful to Dolkin, many of them having handed him gold pieces, silver pieces, and what few possessions they have. Dolkin, you end up collecting about 10 gold pieces in total, from the group.
I don't take any of it. I'm
Oh.
doing this because it's the
Zaya,
right thing to do.
Zaya would, but she's a bit too traumatized to go money.
Also, we for the rest of the group, with Zaya finding herself to be extremely attached permanently to the party and being very overly protective, that is one of the
Mama
things that
Zaya.
happened. So yes, it is morning. You can see that off in the distance, heading down the river. You guys are getting closer. You should be at port by the end of the day into the capital that seems to be booming. No army, no shouting, no screaming, no clashes of weapons. All in all, it seems to be peaceful overall, although in the far distance back where you guys came from, you can see the smoke from what was the town that was there.
Wow. Oof. That's a
Well,
lot.
that's one way to get toasty.
Oh gosh.
Horrible joke and not the time. It's too soon.
There's no
Alright.
such thing as too soon. If we make jokes on it now, they might get written down in total data.
God damn it. Alright. Starting from the top, I'll be going down, see if there's anything you guys want to do overall. Dolkin, is there anything in particular you want to do while you're on the boat at this point?
I would probably just continue helping out on the boat, make sure everything's taken care of. Do what I can to repair equipment on people and things like that. Maybe outfit. Was it Ven who got destroyed? Lost
Yes.
everyone. I could help make him things.
Alright, yeah, go ahead and give me a d20. Let's see, plus... Oh, shit. That's right, 5e doesn't have anything for smithing. God, I missed that in 3.5.
Strength or dexterity would be basis, and if he has the tools, it'd be proficiency added.
Let me see something. Smithing. Let's see, what was it back in the day? There used to be a thing. Yeah, just give me a d20 plus, fuck, there really isn't anything that I can find in here. Let's go with intelligence for this because you're making armor for someone for a body you're not familiar with. Yeah, it is an int modifier, so yes. D20 plus your int modifier. God, I missed 3.5. Alright, with a 14. And what kind of armor are you planning on making, Dolkin?
Whatever he needed. I think he was using. We're using the chainmail. I don't remember.
Just go chainmail. It'll work.
Alright. And then he disappears. Okay, well.
No, it wasn't me.
Your armor is so good, he just vanished.
Taking a run for the hills.
Yeah, jumps overboard, swims away.
Sinks.
Yeah.
No.
Then go ahead and add some basic chainmail to your inventory, and go ahead and put it on. I will mention, Ven, you don't have any of your weapons or anything. You literally came on here stark naked, minus the fact that you
Can I
got commoner
loot
clothing.
a weapon from the boat?
Most of the soldiers are keeping their weapons, and there were no weapons on the boat otherwise.
Can I give him one of my weapons?
Yes, you can.
Okay, Ben, you should look at my weapons and take one of them. Don't take my bow, though.
I'm no good with a bow anyway.
The bow
Do you
that you're
want a
gonna shoot
dagger
with your
or a
dog
short
on.
sword?
I'd probably take the short sword.
Okay, you can have it.
How long are we on the boat for?
It's gonna be about till evening, so around 6, so about 9 hours roughly.
Yeah, I can only make one thing then.
Okay. And all right. Is there anything else you wanted to do, Dolkin, other than helping out those crewmates that you can?
No, I think that would probably be it.
Okay. All right. E2, what about you? Is there anything you want to do while you're on the boat?
Oh, I made sure. By the way, I removed my short sword from the inventory. Then make sure you add it to your inventory.
I will.
No, not really. It's kind of really
Cuddle.
depressing.
Yeah.
Oh, let's cuddle.
The mood overall seems to be very sobering.
It's very depressing.
Many of the soldiers seem to whisper on occasion about their lost loved ones, thinking back on the fact that church / little hold got raided, and you could hear the screams of those you assume were civilians that were inside of it hiding. You don't know whether they were butchered or what was going on. All right, and Ven, what about you?
I will do what I can to assist as well.
Okay.
Helping where I can and making sure A2 stays calm.
All right.
Thanks. I did get crushed by a boulder.
So did I, but I think You
At
I will-
least you
lived through
both
it. I
didn't
came
have
back
someone
from it.
die.
I will say that the you did spend the night on this boat, so everyone does get a long rest.
Oh, thank
Sweet.
God.
So feel free to apply that.
I get
With
As
that,
my
well as
life
I kind of
back.
also want to, if I get any spare time to myself, I want to try and get used to heavier armor because chainmail is, so I don't get the bonus from it.
you can try wearing it about. Will eventually get you more strength, but you're gonna have to train in it and actually fight with it more often.
Only thing is, my strength is 18. This should be nothing to me.
Should be, but it's an awkward. The problem with this is, as you're putting it on, it's kind of awkward feeling overall. That you're not used to the way the material moves so freely and kind of drapes on you.
Or at least this body is.
That's true. All right, Zaya, what about you?
All right. Okay. So I imagine still very traumatized. Probably didn't do much for like a good hour. But then just she decided she's gotta change priorities, step up her game. So I imagine she began kind of like looking around, asking around people where they're heading, what's the game plan, like the people, the crew on the ship, like trying to figure out what the game plan was and how she could work with it, and like checking up on the others. You know, probably hovered a little bit when
Okay.
Dulkin was like smithing, kind of like those tools look sharp, don't cut your finger off, but like just in the shadows, not saying anything. It's like watching people, probably kind of, but I mean she's got a +6 stealth, so hopefully no one noticed her being creepy and worried.
Stalker. Do we all roll
Um,
perception?
So Zaya, as you start listening in, asking about for where you guys are heading, one of the troops seems to mention something about the town of Scraps. A very well known gnomish town. It's actually the capital of the territory and where the king resides himself. And that they're going there to not only report in on what happened to the village that they were guarding, but also to warn of the upcoming attack that should be expected within the next couple days.
All right, and is there? And I'm trying. I imagine she's very magically gifted. Obviously, she electrocuted a bunch of nuts, but physically, not so much. And she also doesn't have fast enough reflexes to clearly have stopped Zaris going. So I think she wants, like last time, to get better physically. So I know Van Dulken, everyone's busy, but I imagine she's probably gonna try like ask someone on the crew to train with her, or like maybe even Dibus if he'll actually do something.
Actually do something saves Dulkin's life once. You didn't do anything.
No, I mean like interact outside of combat.
Dibus seems to be passed out and down in the bottom of the brig the entire time.
Yep.
I'll
All right.
wake
So
him
she's
up.
gonna ask someone on the crew member to like.
Most
Hey, I'll help you. I'll help you with my dog paws.
Dog paws.
chases Z2 around to try and work on dexterity.
Reflexes,
And
man.
she turns
That's
into a
what.
hummingbird to help her.
Yeah, there you
No, I don't change
Okay.
unless it's
Alright.
necessary or I'm hidden.
go. Or you need to dig through someone's chest cavity.
It was an accident.
Or a bear is helping
I'm
you out
trying
with
to
some things.
think. I don't think she'd accept Ichi's offer. Maybe just because right now, because it's been so recent, she'd be too paranoid of hurting her. Like, she'll calm down probably
How
eventually. But right
sweet.
now, yeah, right now, I don't think she'd be willing to slice her rapier at you for practice. I think she'd just look at some of the crew members and be like, yeah, I don't care if I cut them up.
Oh,
Most,
wow.
most of the soldiers
Or-
seem
or
to
Ven.
ignore you and refuse because after the traumatizing event they just went through themselves.
All right, is there like a
I
empty
said Ven would help
crate
out
I
with
could
anything,
check?
so
Well, you just got smashed by a boulder.
I long rested.
Another Tuesday for Ven.
Another Tuesday for
Zaya,
them.
while you
Boulder
continue looking
won't be the
to
last.
spar, Dulkin, as you're kind of working about, kind of going, working on your, working on the patients, as you go down to the bottom of the brig, checking up on Dibus as one of your group members to see if he's all right as well. You suddenly see a bit of a blue light in one of the little cabin rooms down at the very bottom of the boat, and then out comes this giant figure. This
Oh.
figure seems to be roughly. Give me a second.
Good luck.
Alright, there we go. Roughly about 6 feet tall, you'd guess. In normal commoner's clothing, very bulky, very strong looking, with a very impressive bright red beard. A little bit of red hair going down the back, and a reddish brown skin, and very heavy looking. This creature seems to, be dressed very commonly, but just overall kind of large and intimidating.
Call me if you need me to help you.
Uh,
Don't get into
I
a
guess.
fight.
And he
I mean-
seems to be looking at you with kind of a almost absent-minded look on his face.
I'll just like, do you need help?
Puka, that's your cue.
I know. I'm thinking of a good voice. Shut up for a minute.
Oh, it's
You
him!
had a whole week.
Oh.
I could play as Ed. Okay. So
You got this.
you master's sister. Are you?
What?
Hold on, I'll be back. And I'll just go upstairs and I'll get Zaya.
Zaya's just like getting frustrated, just like looking at the crew members, like, why won't you fight me? And then you come up there, and then she, like,
Stabbing random crates.
she turns and she like uses her rapier. It's like, oh hi, Duncan, how can I help you?
There's a thing downstairs. You might want to see it.
Oh, she's like gonna pull out her rapier, gets defensive mom mode up, like goes ahead like cautiously because she's not strong. Defensive now, I guess. So she's like,
Vicious
Okay.
mockery it to death.
yes, all right. She's heading down, rapier trot.
As you both head down,
Ready.
you start to notice this person seems to have kind of like a snout almost, very big brown eyes, and just looks kind of strange. Also seems to have slight tusks, if you will.
Piggy.
Can I make an Arcana check on this figure?
Sure.
All right. I was just like eyeing it up, like, what the heck?
As it snorts at you.
Stop! That's so funny. Please do that when you voice act
I
him.
got a 10.
A 10? Well, this creature has a lot of magic.
What are you and why are you here?
You master sister.
Alright. What?
Zars. You Zars' sister.
Don't say that name.
Zaya, it's at this point you start to recognize who this is.
Oh my.
This looks very familiar to Robert the Boar.
Yeah.
Zaris's pet
Oh my,
boar.
She's
I'm crying.
she's like just like full
You're not
face
alone.
palm, dragging the hand down her face. Like, oh god. Of course. The moment he's gone, a replacement comes, and that replacement's magical boar. Hello, Robert. Nice to, well, not nice to see you, but it's nice to see you. Just not nice times right now.
Master sister. And I give her a big ol' hug.
Oh gosh.
Give me a strength check, Robert. Let's
Yeah.
see if you snap her.
Wait,
Crush
wait.
Poor,
Make-
poor
what do I
Dolkin.
roll?
You just sit here and you're looking as this giant boar comes
Oh
up and
God.
I
hugs
Wait, what do I
Zaya, picking her up and crushing her into his chest.
What do I
Give me an athletics check, Zaya.
roll? Okay, it's like he doesn't even know her name.
I mean, in all actuality, he doesn't.
I
No.
can't wait to meet him in game. Please tell E2 to get
I don't
down
think
there.
it matters what I get bonus wise because I rolled a nat 1.
Okay. So you
She
managed to,
dies.
Robert, you managed to pick her up and squeeze her with not, I mean, with the strength you're used to, the strength that Piplis taught you to, when trying to practice your strength, as as he kept explaining that you were a little too strong, in the laboratory, and when you would pick things up, you typically crush them.
Oh
Um,
no.
And as you go in, you suddenly start to hug Zaya, and you hear a slight popping, and then
Oh
the
no.
gasp of air come out.
Oh no.
Zaya, all you feel is your back pops, and not in a good way, and you can't breathe.
Oh, okay.
Dolkin,
Okay,
you are
that's
watching
bad.
this giant boar crush your leader, and she can't talk as she had the wind knocked out of her.
I'll come up and I'll try to pull him off. Like, hold on, you gotta let her breathe.
At least it's not what I thought it
glare
was.
at the tiny dwarf and
Can
try
I
to
try
swat him
to hit
away.
Rob?
You're gonna try and swat Dolkin? Alright, go ahead and give me a strength check. Dolkin, give me a dexterity save.
True, tiny man. I don't need you.
Can I just plant my feet and just like take it across the chin,
Oh,
but
wait,
like
hang
move
With
it
a-
on,
all?
hang on. That was my bad. Wait.
Oh, you
I
just
was
did. I
gonna
was gonna say,
say-
damn.
Dang, he's thrown across
watch
the room.
Watch him get a nat
Oh,
one
it-
now.
Come on,
R
damn it.
/RD20.
Can I fuck that
Slash
up?
the R20 plus 1.
Did you say athletics?
Yeah, or dexterity, whichever's higher.
Damn it, not again.
Come on.
Dude, do
Why
I
are
need
you
to type it
missing
for you?
Oh, 21.
There.
Oh my god.
no!
Dolkin,
What?
Dolkin slowly starts to dodge out of the way as he sees the incoming paw or hoof come at him. And it just barely smacks you aside the cheek, Dolkin, and you kind of get pushed back a little bit, almost as if someone had punched you straight in the side of the head.
Does move? Do I get some air now that one arm?
Saya,
stays
you've
the dwarf?
never, as someone who's lived a comfortable life, you've never had the air knocked out of you before, so you're like trying to breathe, but it's burning, you're gasping.
I mean, I've almost died before, but yeah, that's bad. What can I do? I'm trying to. Do I have a spell? I don't have a rapport spell. That'd be mighty useful.
Dolkin, so now you've been smacked by this giant boar. Is there anything you want to do?
Can
I just give him
message
like
Robert.
all right, guess we do it the hard way, and I'll just start
Oh,
like pulling
no,
out my shield
I'm
and pulling out my
right here.
warhammer.
Can I wave my
I
hand?
release Zaya and get into my
Collapse
pig
to the floor.
Drops to the
and
floor.
just like readies
squealing.
myself, going all
Stop
pig
it!
stance, I'm gonna charge at him.
Can I speak?
No, Zaya, you still can't talk.
I'm
You're
trying
trying
to,
your
like,
hardest.
Grab at
Then,
Robert's ankle,
and
stop him.
no, Zaya, you're on the ground, pretty much
My
just
worst
trying to breathe.
nightmare. Worst
Ben
nightmare.
and E2, you just hear commotion down the bottom of the ship, and you start to
I
notice a
go
couple
quickly.
of the gnomes start charging down there as well. One of the gnomes looks at Dolkin, looks at this giant boar standing with a staff in one hand and commoner's clothes, looks confused, pulls out his crossbow and aims it straight at Robert.
Can I
saying,
wave my hands? No.
You're trying, Zai, at this point, you're trying to get air into your lungs as best you can.
Damn it!
I ready my boar stance, just like scraping my
No,
arm on the
this is
board,
all
just
you
like, and then whilst I do it, I mutter a chant, and I mutter the what is it, the claws of a demon spell while I do it,
Oh.
Whoa.
and just go full on war cries.
As this
Wait,
happens,
this-
Robert,
this
as you start to get ready to charge, one of the gnomes looks at Dolkin, nods, looks back at you, and one pulls out another crossbow, and both gnomes at the same time say, "Stop!" and just hold silent as they put their fingers on the trigger, aiming at you. Robert, you start to remember what crossbows are from the times that Piplis would shoot them at you to see if it would penetrate your skin, and it hurt like hell being shot by these things.
No, don't hurt the giant piggy.
Zaya's like, I'm gonna defend my party, and now she's defenseless on the floor
Wrong
while
class
they
to be
kill
that.
each other.
So Robert, what are you gonna do? You've got two crossbows pointing at you, and you've got this dwarf with a that's full on ready to attack you.
Okay. Seeing I okay, is it
And Zaya's not
chant
freaking out, by the way, at all against for either of you.
is
I'm
the
dying.
is the spell complete or no?
How long does it take?
Let's see. The claws of a demon take 3 rounds.
Then no.
Okay. So if I do that, then it'll cancel out the claws of a demon. And okay, I just
Continue chanting.
not yeah, I continue chanting, just like continue scraping my hoof against the floor, just
Oh
glaring
gosh.
at them all.
Can I do anything?
Nope, Zaya, you're still on the ground. Dulkin, are you gonna? You just see this boar, this giant boar, bearded boar, starting to prepare. Seems to be chanting something quietly to himself, and seems to be scraping his hooves against the ground.
I'll ask you one more time. Stand down.
You heard Master Sister. You
You hurt me.
No.
As Dulkin gives this warning, two crossbow bolts fire out straight into Dulkin. Dulkin, what's your AC?
into
Into me?
Dulkin?
Not Dulkin,
What?
sorry, into Robert. My bad. So she's,
Oh, okay.
Okay, I was
Oh,
like,
the
wait,
tables have
what?
turned.
yes.
The tables have turned. Robert,
Robert, what's your
control
AC?
shift.
And my AC is 10.
Okay, let me pull that up then. 1
Not the
second.
highest.
Okay. Let me. Oh God. Oops. There we go. Just pulling up something. All right, and that is. Oh gods. You take 6 points of damage as these things pierce straight into your sides, and they
Even
start to
with-
slowly try to reload.
Okay. Since I have a high constitution, does that like affect me in any way or no?
There's no poison on them. They just hit you for, like I said, 5 points of damage.
Okay. And as a usual boar,
Who
how many
does have
rounds?
intelligence, by the way.
Yeah, 0 intelligence.
You have a
only
10 in intelligence.
Yeah, I have a 10.
Meaning you are smarter than still the average NPC.
Technically, you're
true.
smarter than I am.
But he's still relaying on his him being a boar. Even if he is an awakened boar, he's still technically a boar.
All right. Well, as the bolts fly,
How can we calm him
E2,
down?
this is at the same time you finally come down, standing right behind the two crossbowmen who have just started reloading their bolts, and you see this basically what looks to be a standing boar with a beard, getting ready to charge while he has two bolts sticking out of him.
I'm
And a
gonna
breathless
say
tiefling on the
something.
floor.
Obviously, the situation has escalated.
Your sheepdog hurt him.
I tell the guys, hey, quit that! Can't you see he's sentient? He's obviously distressed.
Both the gnomes look at Dolkin, then look back at E2 and just no.
Violence cannot fix violence.
I asked him nicely to stand down. This is his choice.
I don't know how to calm down a giant boar.
You give him food. I don't know.
Can we ask him what he wants? Use your words to convey your emotions, and we can fix this problem, Robert. Well, I don't know his name. I'm just
No.
gonna call him Giant Boar. Tell us
I
what's
was
wrong.
here by Tiny Man to protect to protect Master's little sister as I
You
point
don't
to
know my name.
Zaya.
She's
Who's still
just-
on the ground, heaving, trying to breathe, just starting to slowly catch her breath.
Yep.
I was excited to see her again. Did Tiny Man try to hit me? He hurt Master's little sister, and even two more tiny men attacked me.
Dolkin, I think you should apologize. Maybe it
I
would
did
make him feel
nothing.
better.
Fair though. He's the one who did squeeze me.
I didn't do anything. You were crushing her.
I was not doing anything. I was happy to see
Josiah's
her.
like nodding, like yeah.
Can Zaya speak yet?
Nope.
Probably
Saya's
not,
on
but
the
I could
ground, still
use-
catching her breath. Starting to.
Started finally.
All right, as E2 continues to try and talk him down, it's at this point that Dolkin, give me a perception check.
Oh boy.
Zaya, you can go ahead too. Given
Oh sweet.
your situation.
Let me roll this bad boy.
And you said 6 points of damage or 5?
5.
Okay.
And then Zaya, what'd you get?
I'm back, so
I got
okay.
a 5.
Alright.
'Cause I
A
rolled
5.
Welcome back.
So you don't see. So Zaya, what you just see suddenly is that Robert suddenly starts to squeal out as something, and then blood starts to gush from his back.
Yeah.
Dolkin, you notice there's a gnome standing behind Robert with a dagger that seems to just stab as hard as with all of his strength into this giant boar coming up from behind him, stabbing him about 3 times in the upper back.
How
Ro-
many points of damage?
That's 9 points of damage, Robert, as you feel yourself being
Okay.
shanked over and over again from
No,
behind.
Robert.
I then retaliated by vigorously shaking myself
Good
as I
God.
felt this weird as I feel this weird needle stabbing into my back, and then I'm just now going into a blood curdling scream, ready to go into a full
Can you
frenzy.
voice that?
No.
Okay.
No.
1 second. Also, how many
Turn it
rounds
down
has
a
it
bit.
been?
This is the 3rd round.
Good.
Oh, I want to get out of here instantly.
As this happens, the demon claw shoots out, and I am now fully charging towards Dolkin and the 2 gnomes, slashing and hacking my way towards them.
No,
All
not
right.
Dolkin.
You get 1 attack per action, so go ahead and roll your
Do I
attack
get
on.
a reaction?
You're on the ground, Zaya. Dolkin, are
Okay.
you attacking Dolkin or are you attacking the gnomes?
I'm going to attack the gnomes first, and then Dolkin.
You only get 1 attack, so
So yes, the gnomes first.
okay.
And the subject is able to inflict 2d8 points of slashing damage of the normal melee attack.
Okay.
So
So
this is
2d8.
count as an alright, and this is count as an unarmed strike?
Yes.
Okay, so really 20.
This has been a situation.
Okay, that's and how many attacks do I do? Or
You get 1.
okay. And well, I kind of just fucked that up.
Roll again, please.
Oh boy.
Please kill yourself with your own claws. Okay. So as you start to slash vigorously at the air in a full-on blood rage against these 2 tiny people who had just shot you with pointy sticks, they seem to manage to dodge out of the air, one jumping behind Dolkin and the other jumping behind E2 as quickly as possible. All right,
Dog.
Dolkin,
You
after
just
seeing
dog.
this, what would you like to do? He is within striking distance of you.
Well,
Please
obviously,
don't do it.
he's attacked the people I've been caring for, so I will retaliate.
Okay.
You care for all these gnomes on the ship?
I mean,
Somebody has to.
You're so kind.
Meanwhile-
Then come prepared with the medic.
Meanwhile, in the background, you can still see Dibus is fully asleep. All right. Does a 9 hit you,
Dibus!
Robert?
Nope. Yeah.
All right. As the hammer slams down, poor Robert manages to
He's-
dodge completely out of the way, even though blood is still curdling from his back and his chest and his side.
Robert.
Okay,
you-
at this point, can I try
It's the
and
gnome's turn. Give me a second.
Okay.
Both of them are gonna reload their crossbows. All right, E2, what would you like to do?
Gosh, I do not know how to de-escalate this
Zoro in?
situation. Yeah, I want to get Ven in here.
Oh, good,
Scream
the perverted
for him.
elf. That's what's gonna stop this guy.
He's immortal. He could take all the crossbow bolts.
I will mention, Robert, you've seen all these people before.
Including the gnomes.
No, not the gnomes,
No.
but Doken, E2, Ven, and Zaya. You met while Zaya
I-
and E2 were
no.
unconscious. Yeah,
Well,
when
I
they went
did
to visit with
I
Piplis.
glanced at them, but I was more focused on Zaris.
You were still you've
Yeah.
seen them before, and you know they were traveling with Zaya, because at that point you were already sentient.
At that point? Oh.
Yes, you've been sentient since the party got arrived
He
at
doesn't
Piplis's.
How
like
many
Tiny Man.
How many months has it been since I've been sentient?
It's only been a couple of weeks because this group has only been traveling for a couple of weeks. So altogether, well, no,
Okay.
you guys traveled for 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say that.
sorry, 3 months and 3 weeks. So you've been sentient.
3 months and 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just as
I mean, how big's Sabor's memory?
well, he is sentient,
Yeah.
so he has an
A
intelligence
sentient
better
one
than
would
most.
have the same amount as a human.
Yes.
So
And he has more intelligence than the dwarf. All right. So E2, you're gonna shout for Ven to come down.
Yeah, I don't know what else to do. I need Ven.
As Ven comes, as you're sitting up there, kind of relaxing, enjoying the sun and the boat ride, you hear a loud shout from the little dog, and can hear the.
I'm booking it down there.
I want to
Any-
quickly inform him that this situation is dangerous and I need help de-escalating it.
As you walk down and E2 starts to explain, you just see this boar in commoner's clothing, bloody to all hell, with arrows or with
Do
bolts
I
sticking
remember
out of
the
him. You recognize the boar. This is the same boar that was with Piplis. You don't know the name of this
Robert,
boar, but
knock it off, or else I'll get Pibbles on you.
What?
That's. I'll get a hold of Pibbles and tell him you're trying to kill us all. We don't need to
No.
kill our other healer.
I not try kill. I only protect.
Everyone else
I was
disarm.
protecting Master's
a
little
friend.
sister.
I understand, Robert, but you can't just attack when you think it's safe. You gotta
But
calm.
Tiny man
You're a
tried to
smart boy.
hit me.
Tiny Dwarf is good at making weapons. He's not so good at thinking things through.
I
Duncan
resent that.
just-
And then tinier and then tinier men shoot arrows
Tiny
at
men
me.
are assholes. Trust me on that one.
both guards look at you, point their crossbows, and say that again.
Lads,
Zaya
it's
And
de-escalating
then
the
this-
situation. Just accept the
and
fact that you
then
attack someone
tiny-
randomly.
And then there's another tinier man stabbing me. Also, how many
They'll
points
do
of
that.
damage do I reserve
Huh?
from the stabbing?
Oh, you already took them. Don't worry, I already told you it was 9
Oh,
points.
alright.
Originally. Yeah, and there's a
okay,
you
calm
see the
down.
gnome in the
No more
background,
attacks.
kind of covers up the dagger behind his back, starts looking away like he's not
Next
here.
person that attacks, I will personally stab with the short sword.
Like,
Both-
so you try.
Both crossbowmen point at Ven right at the head.
I'll stare them
This is
down
not
and go, listen,
working.
lads, I've been shot in the head, I've been dismembered, I've been disemboweled. You're not gonna do much more.
He
Make
was
me roll
crushed by a
intimidation.
boulder.
No, both of them just seem to keep their crossbows aimed at you.
Otherwise, we all need to calm down, go upstairs, eat, and get where we're going.
Get drunk.
No need for drinking yet. We're not celebrating. We
I
lost.
didn't say that in character because I'm out of breath and dying on the floor.
I'm gonna use a bonus action to use healing word on our leader to try and grant her breath back
I don't know
and
if I
any
was
damage she took.
actually
I don't-
damaged,
I don't.
but my back.
She hasn't taken any damage. She's just,
Out of
trying to
breath.
breathe.
He's
Oh.
just winded.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna walk over to her and be like, "You're gonna be all right." I'm gonna walk around and get
Robert.
between everybody and be like, "Stop!"
Robert, you've got an attack of opportunity if you want it on him.
On Ven?
Uh-huh.
Hurt him and I'll
I
hurt
said
you.
I personally stab the next person that swung. Do not tempt me. I will.
I
You are a
mean,
squishy wizard.
He also.
you really
was
want
in
you
fight
sure about
mode.
that? You are sure about that?
Don't fight, don't do this.
I'm not.
No,
using-
I'm-
I'll only
I'm
fight
not-
if
I'm
I'm
not-
provoked.
I'm not saying like
Do
I'm
you have
not
a
gonna use an
character
attack of.
idea?
I'm not thinking of using an attack of opportunity, but I'm asking at a character. It's saying, "Are you sure that I'm Squishy Wizard?"
You're a squishy
Positive.
boar wizard, meaning you're less
Right.
squishy than a normal wizard, but you're still squishy.
I hope someone here has a character idea figured out because this is not going well. I'm gonna need new characters.
Everyone just, I'm just gonna be
Okay.
in the middle saying, stop, no more fighting, no more bolt shooting. Swear to God.
Okay. Well, the DM went to the bathroom real quick. So, what I had initially thinking
Just
of
on the floor.
was just grab Ben by the leg and then just like
Life
literally
alert.
yeet him towards the rogue gnome and just have him just land
Ask
on
the
it.
DM when he gets
You two
back
will
to
immediately
grapple
attack
check.
you if you do that. So don't do
I
it.
know, I
Tired of
know,
all
I
this
know,
shit.
I know, I know. But this was
And he
but
will
to
stab you
but
and use
to
magic on you and
Robert's
make you feel
mind.
terrible.
Saya
But
needs
with
life
Robert's
alert.
mindset, since the little gnome kept stabbing him, and the other two kept and the other two shot arrows at him, he wanted to go after the tiny gnome, the one that has the dagger.
I
Tiny-
guess we
and
could
Tiny
one
gnome
more
has
gnome.
vanished with a
And,
dagger.
We'll find him.
So-
We'll get him.
There's
So,
janitor gnome
yeah,
there.
I
He's just sweeping the
wasn't.
floors.
Yeah.
That was my initial thought. Now
Yeet
I
him
just
at the
stare.
gnome.
Now I just stare down at that. Wait, how tall is Ben again?
Ben
I'm
is
like 6 foot something.
Yeah, he's actually taller than you.
I
He's
just
scrawny,
look
though.
up at. I look at
I'm
the
thin,
skinny
I'm
elf,
old, but I'm a
and
bandit.
then just like give a big ol' huff, and just go
Puff.
and. I'm
Blow
not
his
blowing the
house
boat down anyway. And then I just like
Not gonna blow the house.
pig walk back to Zaya, and then just like protect her.
I'm just yeah. But how are you gonna help protect me
No more
from
fighting.
suffocation?
You two, with crossbows, shouldn't you be up top in case an enemy ship comes?
Ben, give me a dex save.
Please roll high. Please roll high.
If he gets a nat one, he can't die technically.
Oh, Ben's died before. Don't worry.
Do something cool.
It just takes a lot.
Mm-hmm. Special
Slash.
circumstance.
R D 20. That's a D30. 20 plus 3.
As you say that, turning away to look at the situation, you see a crossbow bolt fly by your head and land into the wood, and then both of the gnomes seem to walk back upstairs.
Well,
I glare.
first time
I'm
I've done that.
growling.
I glare
It's
at the
okay.
gnomes and ready my stance again, charging at them.
Can I?
They
do
both went
any-
upstairs. Dolkin, now that the situation has de-escalated, what are you up to?
I'm just gonna
I
stare
need life
down,
alert.
and then I'm just gonna like stand by the stairs.
Someone help Zaya.
I cautiously stare at Dolkin with this
De-escalate the
with
situation.
with a dirty eye.
Alright, Dolkin, you're being stared at by a very ugly-looking pig. Okay.
Oh, hi, Cameron.
Alright, yeah,
Mhm.
and Zaya, you
Huh?
finally managed to get your breath back, just now able to barely speak. It still burns, though.
You are all idiot. And I
Lass, if it weren't for me, one of these two would be dead now. We don't want to find out which.
don't want anyone dead, so can we stop trying to kill each other?
And it's
We
mine
already
and
have-
Dolkin's job there to keep us alive.
Robert?
While
No
you- While you guys are
killing
talking
dwarf.
and chatting, suddenly, Robert, give me a constitution saving throw.
No,
Yay.
the dagger.
No, no, with dagger's gone. He's hiding, trying not to get eaten.
He's like, where
He's
is
like,
tiny
you know,
dagger
Perception.
man? Must eat.
Robert,
My passive perception's 14. Can he hide from me?
Robert, you're
Seven.
suddenly just you hear these Zaya and Ven arguing, and then everything just goes black For the rest of the party that's standing around, you see Dibbus standing over Robert, looking down at him, clipping his hand back together, and goes back into the back room and goes back to sleep.
What? What happened?
Well,
What did he
the
do?
catbot actually did something.
Is he alive still?
Yeah, he's conscious.
I-
He's breathing. It just seems he might be well, you're not sure.
Tranquilizer?
We can give a medicine check and go see if you can find out.
I'll check. Which of Divis's hand was it though?
The same one that saved Dolkin. Well, I say saved in air quotes. Dolkin really didn't need much saving up on the walls, but the same one
So
that was
the
shooting.
magic
Yes,
missile.
magic missiles out.
Okay, hang on. Let me.
Robert, this is
medicine.
considered a long rest for you, by the way.
21.
Yeah, so it looks like he's knocked out. And you see a big bruise on the back of Robert's head.
Yikes,
So
can someone heal him?
Oh, he monk punched him. That's what happened. Karate chop.
Dolkin and E2 who were standing by the stairs were able to see that Dibbus just basically looked in the room, walked up to this giant creature that was standing over Zaya, or crouching over Zaya, walked up behind him and punched him in the head with his right hand as hard as he
Like
could.
a true monk.
And then turned around, back into his room, and from what you can hear now, he's snoring.
Well, now that that's over, geez, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to put up with this guy. Ben did a great job, and I pat him on the back with my paw.
How much alcohol do we have left on the ship?
You see none. Alright, now that the escapade's over, I assume Dolkin's gonna go up and check on the crew and see if he can be useful.
Yep.
Alright.
Zaya's will, I guess. Is there a place to put Robert? Not in the way.
Well, I mean,
Just
given if
let
you have
him
a
there.
decent strength, you could probably go put him in the same room as Dibbus.
If last I checked, I got +0 to strength.
Yeah,
I'm
this
not
is.
as strong as Robert is smart.
You're guessing this is about a 300-pound boar.
Yeah, I mean, I could waste a spell slot, but I'm not gonna waste it. So I guess I'm just gonna look at Robert and be like, I'm gonna deal with this. And I guess if Dibbus, I can hear him snoring. I can hear him sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so no need to check on him. Are Ven and it still in the room?
Yep. E2's on the stairs. Ven is standing next to you and Robert.
All right. I guess Zaya's gonna walk up to them. I guess probably still winded, so just like a winded crouch, not
Aw.
crouch, but like hunched over
Crawling.
walk. It's like not crawling. Yeah, but it's like, are you guys fine after the boulder incident? And she's
I'm
like
just gonna
trying to
look and be like-
straighten her back out.
Ben's just gonna crack his neck. I got a crick in my neck, but that's about it. Not the first time.
Oh, I got a
been
crick
smashed by
I got a
boulder.
crick in all the places in my spine right now. All of them.
As you guys are
I'm
kind of
over
talking,
You're so humorous.
Precious one over there.
as you guys are talking, you hear a little bit
I'm
a
very
quiet
curious.
whistle, and there seems to be a gnome that seems to be hiding something on the side of his leg, walking towards the stairs, kind of
Wait,
quickly.
I'm gonna
Perception
pick him up by
check?
his head.
Perception check?
You're gonna do
Pick
what?
him
By
up.
his head.
You're gonna pick him up? Give
I'm
me a
pick-
strength check.
I'm a
Gosh, no, I just
Okay.
want what he had.
slash.
Can I still do a perception check?
For what?
To see what he has. Oh.
Wow.
You got him.
Re-roll, because that's an exact match.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
No.
Fucking god damn it, no! That's
God.
twice. Alright. You know what, screw it. I'll use this program just to see. Let's see.
Oh no. I just want to know what he had.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
Oh god.
Oh, shit.
Let Ben do this.
Wow.
Got him.
Wow.
Got
Ben-
him.
Ven manages to pick the gnome up by the head, and he
That
just kind of
God.
slowly starts to stop whistling, starts to move his hand a little bit, the one that he seemed to be concealing something in.
I'm just worried that you were
boys.
you were the one that was stabbing our friend here. Were you?
Boys, let's not to argument. Then it is very rude to pick people up by their head.
It's not
Please
rude when
put
they're
the
suspicious.
He looks
He
over.
was suspicious.
I think
He looks over at Zaya, kind of look as best as he can. Now that he can't move his head, his eyes kind of looking off in his peripheral vision, and looking back at Ven and says, "I would put me down if I were you."
Ven,
That tells me that you
suspicious
would.
or not,
Next time,
they
please don't
are
stab him so
being
much.
kind hosts.
Are you
letting
threatening
us
us?
on their ship?
No, I just set him
This
down after
is
saying what I have to say. I say, don't stab him so much next time, and set him down.
This is not our ship. We should
Holy
be
He
Nice
looks
nice
to he looks to Zaya at the mention of that and says, "You're right. This is my ship."
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yes, of
That
course,
doesn't-
sir. I'll try.
He looks to all of you and says, "Nice to meet you. I'm Lord Grungle. That was my town we just came from." And he looks up at Ven and says, "Touch me again, and I'll make sure the knife goes through your neck."
Zaya gets a glazed look in her eye at the mention of town. Just like
I'm growling
Quiet.
at him.
Itu.
I
Kind.
don't like him.
He lost
too,
people
it's
in that
okay.
town.
Believe me.
People were
I've
lost.
had
He looks
I've
to
had
Zaya and
greater
says,
men than he.
"No,
attack me.
no, I'm not upset about losing the town or the people. I'm upset about losing my money. Now, if you'll excuse me, when we make dock, you're born, and the rest of your lot get off my ship and don't come back."
Then I
don't
hate
plan
this
on
guy.
going back there.
He
It's
looks
okay,
at
Itu.
E2 and says, "And dog, if you try anything, this dagger will go through that nose of yours."
Guys, go with Dulcan and see what he's up to.
Let's just let him be. Men who care about money learn nothing throughout life.
Yeah, says
People
the
who
man
can't
who
keep-
ended up giving up his entire empire. Huh. And he walks up.
Oh, ouch.
Maybe try not verbally
I hate this
voice your
boat.
opinion too much. I would assume, being old you are, you have some wisdom. I ask, try not to be too verbal about opinions that others can disagree with. And she makes like a slicing motion across her neck and like a stabbing motion. And she's like, because I'm sure he very much disagrees with you insulting him.
If he's insulted, that means he has low pride. Greedy men normally do.
Yes.
Ben shrugs.
It's not.
Is
Oh,
he still
gosh.
listening to all of this?
Then,
Probably.
then everything goes dark. E2, you just see a dagger popping out of Ven's back. Nice bejeweled
Oh.
dagger with a ruby at the back that seems to glow.
Oh,
I go for the neck with my teeth.
Okay, Zaya jumps a bit
No,
in
no, 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 no.
surprise.
Dolkin,
Unless he
you're upstairs at this point
crits-
ignoring all this, I assume.
I'm upstairs. I'm
Unless
making
he
friends
crit
with the
success,
crew,
there's
having
no
a great
way I'm
time.
dead.
Alright.
I
E2
wanna
doesn't.
leave.
E2 is blind with rage. She.
No, I'm gonna
can't.
grab E2.
You
regardless.
can-
Well,
I'm gonna
you
grab
Try
can't-
to grab me.
Zaya, you're on one side, Ven is on the ground, what looks to be dead. E2, as you go to attack him, he gets his attack of opportunity on you.
Oh, I wanna fight.
I love this dice. He grabs you
No.
by the neck and slams you into the wall and says, "I told you," and then he shoves a dagger straight into your head.
Well, I'm dead.
Nope. But you do take 15 points of
So-
damage.
Is not
Ouch.
okay with
Jesus.
this. Okay, let me look at my stats
And
real
he's
quick.
just holding E2's throat against the wall and
Uh.
glaring her in the eyes with an animosity that you've never seen a man have ever.
I'm going to go limp and play dead.
Go ahead and give me a deception check. Let's
Is
see
it-
what you get.
Sorry, I'm slow with this.
No worries.
Not very good.
He continues to push
No.
the dagger in farther,
No, is there anything? I
and
can
he's
do?
just glaring at you two with the animosity you'd expect of a man who just watched his family be killed in front of him.
He said he only
They
cared
were
about
he
the
only
money.
worried about the money.
That's true, but that's the way I can put it. And he just looks, as he's glaring at you two, he says, "You changelings all are alike. I had,
Ouch!
I had to deal with one of you already when you snuck into my town and broke the gates where I was at. My doppelganger's dead. My fortune's gone because of one of you lot working for the Black Widow.
Is there anything I could do? Anything?
Go ahead. What would you like to do?
I'm trying to think.
Robert's on the
emotions.
ground, unconscious. Dibbus is
Alright.
asleep. Ven's dead.
All right,
E2's
I'm
being
gonna
stabbed.
try to be a bard and try
Wait, how am I dead again?
He stabbed you.
charismatic
It was a
about
a
this.
crit. Confirm.
I'm going
Oh,
to like
shit.
try to hold
Yeah,
my
I'm
hands
done.
out
I better
and
go
like
start my new character.
Nope, you're good.
a full gesture and be like, "Sir, I'm not going to deny what they did was stupid and irresponsible, and I really wish they'd listen to me more. And what you've been through with that town, I wish they would be showing you a bit more respect. But she did not have anything to do with those gates falling. She was dying to a boulder. Please let her go. Stupid, but she is not a criminal against you. And she, besides growling at you, she hasn't committed a crime against you or that town. She was going towards the lodge, the keep, probably was going to help people before she was crushed by the boulder. She's a bit stupid, but she's kind-hearted. Please
Give me a
let her
persuasion
go.
check.
Yep, and I'm hoping I roll good because I got a good bonus to
Oh my
this
gosh.
time, Bard. And if not, then I'm trying to think what level dude could be. I got a 20.
All right. He looks at you listening to your sob story and says, all right. No, if I've heard it before. He pulls the dagger out of E2's head. Blood starts to gush out slowly.
All right,
Drops
I
her
can
to the
cast-
ground, walks over to Ven, grabs the dagger out of his back and says, and puts them in their holsters and looks at you and says, "You're off my ship as soon as we hit dock. You don't leave down the barge down here. You're the only one allowed out is Dulkin up there. If I see any of you at topside up before we land, I'll have you thrown off the boat and killed, in that order." And he walks upstairs.
Understood. All right, I'm gonna go over to Itsu and heal her, and she's like, Zaya's good at controlling her emotions, but
Heal for how much?
hang on, I gotta roll that.
Okay.
Dulkin, as you're just standing up there chatting with the crew, this one of the gnomes comes up, the one you saw stabbing Robert in the back, and he comes up and starts making small talk with you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make friends, just having fun on a boat.
Please make
Try
friends
not to
with
piss
him.
off anybody.
I heal you for 6 too. 6.
Okay, thank you.
And I can heal you more, I guess, if you needed it, but I think that's
Um,
probably good.
it'll be
Should take-
alright.
As you start healing E2,
I have 31 out of 40 right now.
Robert and
Alright.
Ven, you guys are, as you're laying there, Robert starts to kind of stir from his sleep, slowly kind of moving, ends up kind of
Dibbus is asleep.
coddling onto Ven, and then as Robert kind of gains full consciousness, he realizes he is being the large spoon to the very long, lengthy elf.
Dead.
Well, it's still warm. Robert-
No.
Is Ven dead?
You're not sure.
E2 is still very upset right now.
I guess Robert
Like she
Listen,
wants to cry until
I
she
did-
sees Ven alive.
And I guess Robert stays asleep. As Ven continues to be snuggled, then you can feel your wounds start to slowly close up as you start to regain consciousness and feel a real bad creak in your back. Also, something feels different.
Oh.
You feel
Oh, God.
less healthy.
Oh god.
Permanent HP reduction.
Nope. You're back at normal HP. You're 1 HP currently, but yeah.
He's got a disease.
Is he no longer immortal?
He just feels different. That's pretty much it.
We probably don't notice anything different though, right?
Well, you see Ven's wound closes up. The blood seems to stop spouting, and he seems to wake up and being
Haven't-
cuddled by the giant boar.
Yeah, I think I've
I'm gonna move away from the boar quietly.
Ven betraying me. He's found a new lover in the vor.
Nope, moving away from the boar. Not my
Reminds
pick
Ven of
one.
his 5th ex-wife. And his 26th and the
Ichu
38th.
cries and goes up to Ben and tries to snuggle against him.
Then snuggles.
Ichu starts to talk to him, and she explains to him, I hated that guy as soon as I saw that he hurt you. I had to attack him, and then he attacked me, and I thought we were both going to end up dead.
So maybe
Ah.
next time you could both please try to think about your survival instead of getting the last word in.
He
You
hurt
realize-
Ben. I can't stand for that.
And I have.
Lads,
I
don't go. It's
know
do not go
hurts, and you
risking your
have
life
to
for
be
mine. I'm old, and I'm been dead before. It won't bother me to die.
Dolkin, as you're sitting there chatting with the crew, and the gnome with the dagger comes up, he introduces himself as the lord of the town you guys left, and starts telling you, swapping tales with you about how he was at the southern wall when it fell, and explaining kind of what happened and all that. And he tosses you a platinum piece for helping out his men and helping defend the city, and says, "That's the pay I owe you. I was paying the mercenaries more, but you gotta take it. It's my responsibility as a nobleman."
If you insist, and I raise up a mug of whatever's available, like 3 cheers to what's your name?
He looks at you and says, just call me Lord. For right now, I don't wanna,
3 cheers to the Lord.
Do we get another long rest?
You can get a short rest in before you're gonna make it to the town.
Yeah, I think Zaya's just gonna
Yeah, I'll
To
take
keep
that,
an
and I can
eye
roll
on
some
those-
d8s.
probably gonna. Where's Dibus? Is like, can she reach Dibus and just hang out with sleeping Dibus?
Yeah, he's in one of the back rooms. It's not hard
Yeah,
to get
she's
to him.
gonna like keep the door open, like keep an eye on the other two
Mhm.
after the incident. But she's like, they're just upset and angry, and she just wants to sit somewhere quiet. And why
Mhm.
not sit next to Dibus? So she's
Okay.
sitting by Dibus.
All right, and as the rest of you kind of curl in to rest, Dolkin, you get handed a nice bottle of fine wine from the Lord, and he just nods and starts pouring you a glass, and then pouring himself a glass and starts
Token
drinking.
is
God damn it.
more charismatic than me, the bard. Plus 10 persuasion.
No, it's not that he.
What
well,
is this madness?
It's just I'm not screwing it up.
See, if
Okay,
it
I
wasn't
heal
for
21.
if
Got
it
it.
wasn't for her trait where she has to be defensive of people, Zaya would have stayed out of it and left the room. Probably before the stabbing happened.
Meanwhile, Robert continues to sleep, ignoring the rest of the party, basically keeping his eyes
Yep.
closed.
Wait,
and
didn't
ignoring.
he say that we aren't allowed to leave the room?
To leave the
Yeah.
bottom of the boat.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So there are 3
Yeah, we're
rooms in the
asleep on
bottom
the
of the
stairs
boat.
blocking it, so if anyone comes down, they're tripping over all 3 of us.
Well, Robert's in the
After-
middle of the bottom, but yes, go ahead, Dolkin.
After some time being up top, I'd probably look to the Lord and be like, "You didn't kill those guys, did you?"
He smiles and starts to pet his dagger that the ruby on top seems to glow, and
I
says,
wanted to Arcana check. that.
No, but I did take something from them for the disagreement.
Yeah, he stabbed Ven with that dagger. It could have done
He
something.
took some of his powers, I bet.
Yeah,
Alright,
with
can
the
you
magic.
are you gonna tell me what you took?
Nothing that affects you, my young friend.
Hmm.
It affects the other meat shield.
And he pours
I
you
see
another
his
glass,
dagger.
Dolkin.
I see his dagger though.
Mm-hmm.
I'll strike up a conversation like, "Oh, it's a fancy looking dagger there. You make it yourself?"
No, I actually had it made by a dwarven smith. Oh, some guy who's good with making rum. I can never recall his name. He's passing through the territories, and I paid half of my fortune to have this thing made.
Oh, was it Ogum?
That's it. Yes. He was passing through my territories not long ago, and I had to make this. I've been researching him, man. There's supposedly a well-known character to history. I don't recall his name, but apparently he supposedly had found the Fountain of Youth, and I had this crafted to steal that information.
That's
Oh.
interesting.
Yet I have yet to find him. When I do, I'll let you know. He smiles as if it was a joke.
Oh no. Well,
And
Well,
you,
I should probably check on those guys, make sure they're still alive.
just strumming my lute quiet.
as you
Well,
walk
actually, no.
down, you see that E2 and
Sleeping.
Ven are kind of curled up in the at the middle junction of the stairs. You can see Robert, the corner of your eye is still passed out, ignoring everyone at this point, as he seems to be somewhat, actually fully conscious, but trying to pretend to be asleep.
I'll just shout down. You all still alive?
Live
Barely.
and
Sleep
reckless as
napping.
ever.
All right, sounds good to me. Let me know if you need anything. I'll just go back up.
How close are we to our destination?
You look like you're maybe about
Okay.
2 more hours away.
We'll be there soon.
As you come back
Lovely.
up, one of the gnomes,
Wait a minute.
Gnome
Since I'm an
soldiers
elf, I can
pours.
technically get a long rest in, because I only have to go into a trance for 4 hours.
There you go.
Wow.
Yay, long rest.
All right, yep. And Dolkin, like I said, as you come back up, the guy pours you another drink.
You need to find some information about that dagger of his. I'm just saying.
He was a bard. He could charisma it out of him, but you know the bard's stuck downstairs. Saved
He's a
someone's
cleric.
butt.
As time goes on and you lot continue to rest, relax, and try not to die, Dolkin
Yep.
getting more and more drinks handed to him as it seems that a cask of ale is brought up from the
They're
bottom of the
roofied.
boat. One of the gnomes challenging Dolkin to a drinking contest and failing after the third cup.
Dang, I wish I was up there.
Yeah, you shouldn't have opened the mouth.
I'm sorry.
You guys finally make dock, feeling an abrupt stop, and as the gnomes start to pile off, the nobleman of the ship seems to walk up to Dolkin and hands him a little piece of paper that seems to have it seems to be sealed and says, "We'll talk again," and seems to jump off or climb
Oh.
off the boat and shouts back,
Jump into the ocean.
"Yeah, let your party know they can get off now. I expect them off my boat before I can return." And he heads off into the city.
I'll just tell him like, "Yep, I'll get him out of here. Safe seas, good travels," and then I'll head down and gather everybody.
Tempted to sink the boat.
Oh,
Me
that'd be
too.
sad if they find out. I'm not.
I mean, it's wartime. They'd never know.
Yeah, they would.
Can we just hire a hitman?
Hey, Robert,
you
are
have
you?
to figure that out when you get off.
Robert the Boar, are you there now, or are you still quiet?
Can I make sure
I'm
Dibbs
here.
is awake?
Dibbis wakes up to hear
Okay.
Dolkin's voice that they're getting off, and Robert, of course, waking up
Then
as well.
carries Itu out.
All right,
Thank you.
crawling off.
Before,
Yes?
okay. Did everyone leave the boat?
All the gnomes have. Your party is starting to slowly get up and get off the boat.
Oh,
So want to sink the boat. So want to sink the boat.
I want to sink the boat too.
Well,
So bad.
before
Sink the boat.
I'm going to let everyone else first get off, and then I'll be the last one off, and then I would just earth tremor the boat in half, and then
Okay.
just clumply trotting away in
So-
happiness.
All right,
Yes.
Dolkin, E2, Ven, and Zaya, as you guys start to climb
Run,
off,
run. We gotta
Robert's
run.
kind of Robert tells you guys he'll be right there in a very simple explanation. As you guys start walking off the boat and getting into the dock, you see that the town is very simply designed. Overall, the walls are very large and made of this weird black stone that seems to be shiny even from this distance. This portion of the port seems to have more sailors and many warships already docked. The smell of fish is strong on the air. You actually see what looks to be a giant squid being held up by a hook off one of the smaller fishermen's boats. And then everyone slowly starts to feel the the ground start to tremor under their feet. At first, it's kind of light, and then it gets stronger and stronger to the point that you all are trying to keep your footing the best you can. Ven falling on his butt while he's holding E2. And
That's our cue to go.
and you see the boat start to sink as Robert gets off, but Robert is even starting to shift back and forth as whatever's happening isn't stopping. And then it gets so intense, you hear what sounds to be large cracks coming off from the far distance, as if trees are being snapped in half and broken. The sounds of what sounds like the earth cracking open almost, as loud, booming sounds are heard. And then suddenly, as quickly as it starts, it stops. The ground stops shaking,
Whoa.
everything goes back to normal. The
What
boat sinks,
happened?
of
Perhaps we should have
course.
looted it first.
Oh yeah, we didn't
What?
take anything from it.
What happened?
Alright, we should go now before that guy gets
What
back.
did you do?
I'm
Dolken.
just gonna carry it to you off
I
to
didn't.
carry it to you off.
Who
Alright,
here?
we're out. Peace.
Who here is
Robert, what did you do?
Who here strongly has a religion?
I would.
Me.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
you two kind of.
all right, so
I
not
assume our
so
clerics.
Dolken, Ven, both of you feel something very wrong with the world. As if someone just invaded the world in a religious sense. Almost as if a strong new presence has been found.
What did you do?
Well, what the hell was that?
Wow.
Ooh,
You guys
feel that?
are.
that's probably not good.
Do I feel
Wow.
any
No,
like
it's
anything
probably not.
arcana like?
Wow.
Yes,
You guys
for those who are
dumb as
magic
shit.
casters, Zaya, Robert, and E2, all of you who do cast spells feel something off in the magical weave that is the world. The basic understanding is that magic is mana is all around you. Basically similar to the concept that oxygen is all around you. You can feel it in the air at a lighter presence. In some places it gets stronger to the where you can actually see it physically in light and orbs of light, depending on the type of magic that is specifically strong in that area.
Alright.
Something feels off though. Something from the far west seems to be emitting a lot of magic, but it doesn't feel like any sort of magical presence you've ever felt before.
Do
I
know
don't wanna
what
go there.
isn't- Do I know what's to the west, like geography wise?
Well, from what you
Like-
recall, is the Orc clan territory where you were originally set up a cat or a stronghold.
Oh,
That's
Oh,
as far
that's
west as you've
bad.
gone.
I'm the only remaining member who remembers that, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I know we're a bit worried with this gnome war going on, but what used to be the guild's projected potential for Crimson Talent, we were supposed to do something with the York lands way to the west, and I'm sure you're all feeling uneasy. That's coming from the giant orc army I last
And you
saw in
didn't
that
take care of
direction.
them?
There was a giant orc army. There was like 10 of us, and we were cornered. I want to see you take
there's
on
an easy way to distract an orc.
them.
You say, look, something meaty. And you
One
point
of
in
them
the opposite direction.
Had okay, explain this. One of them was very powerful, seemed very smart, not a stupid, not a stereotypical orc, and he also could summon lightning, and he united all the orcs, which Kilixius, he used to be on our team. He's an orc. He said that's not natural, so
No,
I
that's
don't
not.
think that's gonna work.
But-
Then you should fight the
But-
Orc King or something.
So,
Whoever he is.
Plus, I'm 1,000
Ben.
years too late for that.
given your background and your long life, you recall that you've heard tales of the far west, and you've been there before. You've sailed pretty much around the world in your experience. The orc clans never unite. That they never have. It's pretty much impossible to get two orcs from two different clans in the same room together without them killing each other.
Do I? Because I've
Oh.
done like
God damn it.
research in the past when we were with the talent stuff, would I have known anything about the whole God thing, God war going on? And
Mm-mm.
darn, I'm just oblivious. Yeah,
Would
this is.
Ben knows
bad.
a little bit about it because he was in the cave when they found out.
Yep, but this
I
feels
mean, he
like nothing.
was in.
Then this feels
the
like no
body of-
presence of anything that you've
Religion.
ever felt before, as far as any of the other pious beings. And that goes the same for
Ben's
you,
gonna-
Dolken. You feel what seems to be 4 new beings that have
Oh.
that seem to be not very powerful. If you had to guess, probably about the same strength as a minor god.
Oh.
But they seem to be 4 of them, and they don't feel familiar in the slightst.
Ben's gonna shake his head. Damn idiots, they made some new gods by believing too hard.
Really?
I'm trying
It can
to.
happen. To become a god, you just need a large enough following.
Oh, like a cult?
Kind of.
Yeah,
Yes.
actually. Yes.
This.
Yikes.
Let's
Yeah,
not
more or
go
less.
to the west
And
if we can.
if one of us were to say start getting the word spread around, I mean, At one point, I was up to become the god of lust, believe it or not.
E2 side glances him. Interesting.
Oh gosh.
Many escapades. Many.
How big a following did you have?
Not a clue.
You got one.
I wink at you for that remark. You
Do
haven't
we
seen
have
nothing.
Do we have to go west? I changed the subject.
No, we're not going west from my understanding. We're supposed to help here and then go to that dragon's place. What was
DM,
it called?
isn't there an ocean between us and the west anyway?
Which side?
Side the
To
orcs.
the ogre.
Yeah,
the
the
orcs.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yes, there is an ocean. It's called the Sea of Sagotis. Sagotis. Sagotoi. The fuck, I can't pronounce it.
Saggy tits.
That works. Yes, that is the ocean that is between you, the human lands, and then the orc lands. Yes, that is correct.
Alright, yeah. Unless we plan to find a boat and take a very long trip through kraken infested waters. And she kind of glances down at her arm where the Mogwars it's hidden now, I assume, but the
Mhm.
tattoo and she's like, I don't think we need to worry until it gets too close, but we should keep our ears peeled for perhaps anything we hear. Keep alert for news on that because whatever's brewing there, it didn't look good when it was just a bunch of orcs
Any religious
and
place
magic.
will have information on new gods after a few days, so we should check it with the temple or church later.
Well, from what you can see, there
Perhaps.
is a temple in the town. It looks to be the Three Pillars Church. So
Are we going there?
I mean,
Or
Not
should we
yet.
just
There's
leave it
also-
alone?
there's
I
also
don't want to deal
many.
with it.
There's also many taverns, businesses of all sorts.
I
This
can
is the
get a drink
capital.
there.
There's a school here. You can see both a basically what looks to be a grade school as well as a school of magic here, and it seems to be many people's houses here.
In his head, Ven thinks, huh, the guy who was fighting this originally was loved that place, and points to the school magic.
All right. So
is there
yes.
like a town square?
Much further into the town, it looks like you can follow a main road from the harbor from where you're at.
Is it very
I'm gonna guess we shouldn't go
populated?
there since
Yes.
that might be where the Lord went.
There's what looks like to be a lot of merchants and stuff have their stands out and about selling fresh baked goods. Many of them are selling food and then small pieces of jewelry. It seems the more serious shops and for more specified items have actual businesses or in buildings and stuff.
Did we see where the Lord went?
Dolkin saw him heading off towards the castle, which is off to the left, whereas the center of town is heading straight forward.
Okay, because if no one else had anything to do or drag me into, I was going to consider like performing possibly to earn some money. Because I am a bard, I can like busk on the streets. Okay, but it was just an idea. So
On
I
the
guess
corner?
if anyone has something they want to drag me into before I could do that, I'm just thinking we're gonna need money for stuff eventually, and we're not hired mercenaries. So
I was going to make a stop at the temple and at a forge.
Okay. Well, you can
Yeah, I might
by
as well
this.
stop at the temple so I can learn more about this.
Zaya's
shit
not
going
the most religious. I mean, she could probably do that while you guys are at the temple.
Okay, so we've got Dolkin and Ven, and I assume E2 because
Ven's
E2 follow
dragging it
Ven's.
too.
Yeah, just follow him around.
All go to this temple, and then of course Dolkin will later split off to go to the closest forge or the best or the forge he's most interested in. Robert and Zaya, because I assume Robert's sticking with Zaya for the most part,
Oh gosh,
are heading towards the
And
center of town to
Dibbis.
perform.
Dibbis can.
Dibbis has gone
I
off
don't
and
know how-
disappeared.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
that's great. Well, I guess I'll
Go steal money,
perform on the
catbot.
street.
All right. And
And
Robert,
then
are you
we'll
are
meet
you-
up back in the town center in a few hours.
okay?
That sounds like a good plan.
All right. And Robert the Boar, are you heading with Zaya or no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't wait to see him perform. All right.
Magic feet blows up half town.
We're gonna start with Ven, E2, and Dulcan. So as
Fun.
you arrive to the town, or arrive into the center of town, heading towards the temple, you notice this temple is very grand. A lot of large white pillars. Seems to have many of followers walking about. Walkers of the Void. Some of the other is one of the first holy orders you notice, of course. And a few others from the Three Pillars Church seem to be walking about that specifically worship the High King himself, and seem to be wearing his symbol only. And many people seem to be going in and out of this temple. Some going in to pray, it looks like. Others seem to be going in to talk with the priests who seem to be working inside. As you enter in, you see the High King, this large dwarf in what looks to be best described as a very simple nobleman's clothing, just sitting with his hands crossed, glaring down at the doorway, and him in this giant stone seat.
Excuse me, High King?
Yes, the High King.
Him?
Yeah, that's the leader of the
The
Three Pillar
real
Church.
one?
Oh no, it's not the real one. It's a statue of him.
Oh, you scared me.
I
Um,
mean, considering
Van
you.
would have heard stories of this and just gives him a good and just looks at it and goes, one of the better ones.
Well, actually, you can't remember a time before the High King, Ben. So, the High King has been the ruler and ruler of the Pantheon ever since you were born.
Wow, I
Um,
hate that guy.
Yeah. So as you walk in, E2, you don't think this while you're in there, do you?
No.
Okay, good, because I was about to say that's just you don't piss off or talk bad about a god, even in your mind, in their temple, especially one
Really?
who enjoys
Oh,
being a
thank
dick so
goodness.
much. As you walk in, the priest
You
seems to
already
be
awoke one of his enemies.
the priest seems to be standing there, an older-looking dwarven fellow in bright orange robes, carrying this gnarled black stick as a cane, and he seems to be reading through this book, and kind of looks up as you walk in and says, yes, may I help you?"
Nudges Ven. Hey, what did we came here for again?
Well, we need to find out if anyone else felt that, so we need another cleric. And possibly they might have more news on it than we would, seeing as they're directly in tune with everything.
As you say this, you see a couple of what looks to be younger dwarfs in similar robes to this gentleman who you're talking to right now, running back, panicking, writing stuff down, and running across from room to room.
Looks like they felt it.
Like that!
The older gentleman looks at you and says, and he looks down at Dulcan, notices he's a dwarf, and says, are you mountain or hill?
Mountain.
Good man. And he smiles. My cousins are from Stonehold themselves. Where do you reside from?
Near that same area. I don't know.
He looks at you and says, country bumpkin, I take it.
Something like that.
Well, it's nice to see it. He looks at your armor and looks you up and down for a second and says, you're one of them smiths, aren't you?
Aye.
I've my youngest is on a similar adventure. He's from last I heard, he's been fighting in against the Dark Dwarves under the new high or holy dwarven king. I tell you.
Sounds impressive.
Yeah, the boy's dumber than a sack of dirt, but he can hit people real hard with a hammer.
I'll give 3 cheers to that.
He holds up his holy symbol and says, "As long as he doesn't die, I need grandkids from here." But you're looking to find out what just happened, so I'm guessing you lot felt what just all that.
Yeah, we did. Not a great time.
Well, I can tell you, I have no clue.
From my understanding, that was from the Orcish ones, and
No,
apparently they're united from my information.
That's not that's. I can confirm it's not from the Orcish lands. Their gods, they worship many a minor gods and normal gods, but they don't. These gods are too weak, and they don't have the same power. They're not as malevolent. These seem to be more passive. From what we've been able to gather, they seem to be
Good guys?
good isn't the good way to talk about it. Wait, speaking dog, what?
Never mind, I didn't say anything.
He looks to
Ignore
Dulcan
her.
and Van.
She's with me. Trust me. She's a good girl.
I'm new
no-
here too.
I pat Itu's head. Familiar.
Okay, that makes more
That's
sense.
adorable.
Anyways, as I was saying, we think they have something to do with the seasons, but we're not 100%. They don't have to do with the orcs. The orcs don't worship of this type. Most
So
of them
neither
are
malevolent or
bloodthirsty.
benevolent, so they'll just do whatever the fuck they want.
They're kind, that's what we know. They haven't attacked anybody, there's been no push of following, and we don't feel any strength coming from them. They're not very powerful. There's also something else that we sense, something stronger. A lot of a new religious power seems to be coming from beyond the Orcish lands, but all communication's been cut with the western side of the Orcish territories. My guess is from that damn storming empire. Ugh.
That doesn't surprise me. Apparently, I'm traveling with someone who's there, and apparently all the orcs have been brought together. That's
He nods and says,
terrifying and not good.
"I under a man under the guise of Stormclaw or the Stormclaw clan. He's more intelligent from what I understand. He ends up running a horde of almost 200,000 orcs. There's a thought I never want to imagine. The humans are gonna die first if I had to bet.
Yeah, probably not soon after my kind will go. A lot of them don't like fighting orcs.
He looks
They
you
like
up and
to- they
down
like
and
to
says,
hide.
"You're mountain or high?"
Mountain. High elves might die the forest, though.
Well, the High Elves are getting ready
Pretty
to go
fun.
to war with a group known as the Grim Legacy, from what I've been told. There's an army marching towards their territories. That and the Snow Elves.
Then Zerwin just breaks out in a smile and starts laughing. Oh, I know those lads.
Yeah,
They're
well,
gonna kill them all.
good warning is that the entire High Elf Emporium has been founded under a single man who eats people for a living. He seems to worship
Yeah,
the
but
House of the Dead.
The leader of the Grim Legacy burns people alive for fun.
Fair enough. So, is there anything else I may help you with? What other information?
I could use some extra holy supplies if you can spare them. I have no gold on me. I apologize for that.
At this point, we're getting ready to launch a crusade. The High King has delivered orders to the Pope, and we're heading west ourselves. The army is being brought to the Holy Dwarven lands, and we're getting ready to march. Apparently, the High
Then I
King
apologize
demands
for
that
asking
we
in
take.
such a dire time.
Yeah, well, we're recruiting, so if you're worshippers and true, there's good money in it. And he smiles for a second, says, "Beyond," and kind of starts to whisper in a lower voice to both Ven and Dolkin. Says, "To be honest, if we win, there's a lot of free land that'll be open up. That's why I'm going."
Yikes.
Glad I do it, but I have to make sure my familiar here makes it to where she needs to go.
He looks at you kind of
Thank you.
confused and
It's a special quest I have from someone else.
a familiar.
It's the returning of a familiar, essentially.
These
She isn't
days,
mine, but
nothing
she's somebody.
surprises me. I've heard about a gnome who spits fire. You know, until when
Yep,
you hear
that
that
would be
stuff.
the one I told you about. That's the leader of the Grim Legacy, the smallest dragon.
Oh gods. Between that and hearing about some group that was down in one of the southern towns that just wiped it out. You hear of a group of like 6 people managed to wipe out an entire gnomish town. The lord of the town is talking with the king right now to put a bounty on their heads.
Oh.
Oh God,
Oh.
what is it today?
I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
Because we just... Oh, I feel bad for them. Oh well.
Hey,
We should generally get going.
Unless there's anything else you need.
You said your son was also a smith. Do you know of a master forge master in town?
There's one, King Smith himself. He's a young lad though, rather cocky. I think he's a genocide if I remember right. He's not dwarven, so his craft isn't that great from what I understand. He kind of chuckles. But he'll do. He specializes in armor, mostly in runic enchantments from what I understand of the fire kind.
Interesting. Maybe I'll pay him a visit.
Well, if you do,
I'm gonna whisper
tell him he
to
still
Dolkin,
owes me 4
if
gold
you can
pieces.
get me a longsword, I'll be forever grateful.
Sure.
Get this poor guy a weapon.
Alright, if you'll have nothing else of me, he starts flipping through the pages. I've got a war to prepare for, and hopefully more
Good
money
luck,
in my pocket.
and I hope you win.
I hope we lose, to be honest, but he goes off talking about something else and completely starts to ignore you guys.
And that's our cue to leave.
I will do some quick prayers
Mm-hmm.
like just standard prayers and things like that.
Ven says a prayer as he leaves because he just wants to get out of there,
All right.
knowing that there's trouble afoot.
All right. As you lot start to head out, Zaya and Robert the Boar. As you make it into the center of town, splitting off from the group, you find a very wondrous fountain that seems to be made purely of bronze, with what looks to be a golden liquid that's spraying through the faucets. It seems to have a statue of what looks to be a gnome holding up a cask of ale, pouring it into the fountain itself. On occasion, you see a visitor seem to walk up and with a mug and put it in and pull it out and take a drink. And otherwise, you hear merchants shouting about their goods here and there, trying to outdo each other, trying to gather as many tourists as they can. Few students are walking about, joking, a few couples, some families. All in all, it seems very merry.
Wonderful. Okay. I guess. What's the tavern situation around here?
You can see a few. One seems to be a bronzed apple. Another seems to be of a butterfly colored in a copper. The last seems to have a raven with a lightning bolt going around it. I will mention as you look about that it seems that the people, as you pass by, most people are kind of staring, and many merchants stop shouting as you walk by, as they look on at Robert.
Oh, it's not the weird teeth. It's the the 4.
6 foot, 300-pound giant wizard boar. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
noticeable.
yeah. He's gonna be
I just
attention.
stare blank. I just stare obliviously around. I just look obliviously around, not giving a damn.
All right, Zaya, what's the plan?
I got 2 things and I want to do in mind. I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to kind of time them because I ask around, look for information, and I also want to try to perform to gain some money, and I'm wondering could possibly. What does the setup on the square look like? Like, how are there people like also performing or doing something there?
No, it seems that no one else is performing at this time. You see a few people that have like cups and hats out that have been collecting gold coins, but most of them seem to be relaxing.
Okay,
The
so they're not
competition.
like they're not getting like chased off by guards
No.
or okay, so it's not illegal. That was I was trying to
Mhm.
figure out. All right, I guess I'm gonna. What's a nice spot that looks like getting some kind of flow of people passing by, but it's not perhaps overly crowded.
It seems like right next to the fountain would be the best bet to start performing, just because that's where people seem to center around and walk past as they're looking at many of the shops.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I guess. Yeah, I'll go try
Okay.
to. There, I'm trying to think which instrument I want to pull out. I guess I'll pull out my viol and sit down, prepare a that I've probably played
Okay.
fairly often.
Are you gonna sing with it, or are you just gonna play the instrument?
I'll sing with it too. Probably like a common song from the Tiefling land, so it's exotic.
Okay.
Probably what I've played a few times.
What's the song about?
The song
Mhm.
is about a bird finding its way freedom when it was caged and exploring the forest outside of the house it had been captive in for
Okay.
years.
All right. As you start to sing and play your tune, go ahead and give me a performance check.
Yep.
Robert, I assume you just kind of sit down next to her.
No. As a matter of fact,
Dance.
you are not about to see a fat ass
Please,
board
please,
dance.
300-pound, 6-foot
Dance.
wizard board. Please start dancing.
Do it. Do it.
How about fuck
You'll
no?
earn so much
And
gold.
Oh gosh, my rolls are awful. I got a 12.
Okay.
Ugh,
Go ahead, Robert.
I
anyway,
wish I could. Could you help me, Robert? Can you like give me the help
What?
action? Can you
Okay.
dance?
No, I'm gonna
Can you hit
actually.
drums?
Let him
You,
talk.
like-
I'm going to since they've seen a walking boar, they should see a magic walking boar. And while she is playing music, I use some of the fountain and and try to use them as like not a spiral, like a halo. Well,
Mhm.
I just create some magic tricks with it, and
Okay.
well, just basically just to improve her
Mhm.
music. Yeah.
Okay. So give me a performance check as well. -3. Should be good.
Oh boy. I really wish I rolled better. Too bad I can't give myself bardic inspiration.
Okay. So as you two start
Oh,
to play,
same number.
as Zaya starts to play, the song isn't very great, but it's better than average. Some patrons seem to come by on occasion. Some are clapping
Colonel, they
along.
don't.
Some little kids are watching as Robert spins water up in the air and makes it kind of magically float into different designs and animals that he's seen. Kind of telling the story of how he became sentient at first. And people really don't understand it. They just see a boar that goes from all 4 legs to bearded to standing on all 2 legs. And everything seems to come together. As you guys are doing this, 2 folks come walking up to you. Now, the first they both seem like they don't seem from here. They seem to be foreigners. One seems to be a rather fit-looking dwarf, whereas Dolkin is kind of a little rounder, which is typical of a mountain dwarf. This dwarf seems to be very kind of thinner and very muscular, and kind of slim, muscular. He seems to be riding on what looks to be a furry rhinoceros, and with
Oh.
with a little mustache and goatee that he seems to curl, and and 2 little battle axes on his back. And very dark dwarf. He almost looks like he could be a Duragar, but he's just light skinned enough to where you're pretty sure he's not, because he's not fully charred. He's more like a dark brown. Alongside him seems to be what looks to be a very giant fellow. Um, he's kind of dark green or deep green color, pointed ears. Seems to have a little falcon sitting on one shoulder, and he seems to be kind of decked out in small pieces of armor that's almost like strapped onto his body. So he's kind of naked, but very still got like patches of what looks to be different kinds of leather armor strapped on. This man is very well built, very muscular, and surprisingly look with long flowing hair that seems to kind of have this nice white wisp to it, and it seems to be very pleasant on the eyes. As they both walk up, joking to each other, you catch for a second. The dwarf seems to mention, "Aye, there's a dress you could wear," and the taller gentleman kind of smiles and laughs and says, "Yeah, if they have a size for me." And they continue to joke, and the dwarf walks up or continues to ride his mount up towards you guys and flips a couple of gold coins into a cup for you, Zaya, and says, "Not too bad, lass. Haven't heard that one from where I'm from."
Oh, thank you. I'm having a bit of a rough day, actually, so I assure you if it was a better day, I would do much better, but I suppose you can't be picky of how music flows, can you? Thank you so much for the gold, by the way. We're new here, getting our bearings, and she gestures to Robert, who's just making magic.
As Robert's starting to do magic, both the people look at him, and both of them kind of take a second and stare at him, and they start to whisper to each one another. And the dwarf looks at you again and says, "Your husband?"
No, he was a dear friend of someone, my brother, who I lost recently, and she kind of gets a glazed look again, and then she like tries to shake it off and offers very polite smile, probably a trained smile, because she's she's a bard, so it's like a very nice on the eyes, kind of not too big smile, but nice little smile. To them, she's like, but he's a family friend, so I'm he's tagging along while I go traveling.
Both of them look at each other again and kind of look back and says, "Well, we haven't seen a Grice around these territories in ever. I didn't know their people lived in this area."
What?
What did he call him?
A Grice.
Grice.
What?
That doesn't ring any
What?
bells, does
Nope,
it?
you've
What's
never heard that
rice?
before.
What's the rice?
Grice. Oh, you have to beg my pardon. I don't know much about my friend Robert here. He hasn't told me much where he came from. What's Grice?
You know them, the boorish looking people, the ones who fight them damn magic casters. Oh, I can never. The dwarf continues to talk. The other one's kind of silent, staring the boar up and down. Kind of seems to be
Can-
palming his. Oh, it looks to be some brass knuckles, just
Can
in
I-
case. Yes.
Oh, I was gonna say, does he look like he's like being cautious? Because I was gonna insight if he was being malicious, like he wanted to cook Robert up.
The giant fellow doesn't look like he wants to cook Robert. He more looks wary of him. And
Okay.
dwarf looks at you and says, "Yeah, the Grice, they're a dangerous lot. They're good at battling, good at killing.
No.
But
I'm not
do your
sure
people?
about them.
He looks at you and says, "I've never seen a horned human either."
Let me. Sorry, I've been so rude. Let me introduce myself. And I assume she was sitting like at the edge of the fountain, so she'll stand up, do a
At this
very
point,
wide swept
I'm gonna
curtsy.
slap Shia's mouth shut and give her and just slightly shake my head no.
Uh, I'm gonna use the cantrip message and whisper to him, like, "What are you doing? I'm just trying to say my name to these people." And I bet they can very clearly see the boar man's just like covering my mouth. So as you can see, like Zaya's like looking at him, like, "What are you doing?"
I then look at 1 second.
While you guys are talking, Dolkin goes off on his own, and I assume Ven and E2 start to look for Zaya and Robert. Am I correct on
No,
that?
we're just gonna wander the square right now because it seems like it's gonna be dangerous to travel on a regular pack.
Romantic.
Okay.
It's gonna seem like it's gonna be dangerous to travel on our pack of 6.
Take me on a
The Lord
date, Ben.
To get
What type of
drunk
date
at a
do you take it?
tavern.
I want
Yeah,
ice
and then tell them
cream.
that a Tikva Silver song's gonna play.
Zaya.
All right.
Okay, I'm kind of back. I look at her with a very stern, like as a remnants of Zara's,
Oh.
and just firmly shake my head no.
Okay. The dwarf fellow looks at Zaya and says, "My name's Conrad, and the big oaf here is Gordo."
So I'm gonna pull away from his hand a bit and like nod politely and finish doing the curtsy I was gonna do. Be like, "It's very nice to meet you." Do those names ring any bells?
Nope.
Okay. So no, just what can
Nothing
I ask?
on them
What
is-
brings you to here?
The dwarf continues to speak. The other one's continuously quiet and seems to be a little more cautious about the whole situation. Still watching Robert. He goes, we're new to the areas is the best way I can explain it. We're lost in somewhat. We haven't been able to find anything that looks familiar. Woke up
Oh.
here, we had a large earthquake, and then suddenly we're here. Outside of this
That's-
town. It was the strangest thing. Last thing I can remember is fighting a bunch of these dragon people. I don't even long dead
Mm-mm.
race. They're
Dragonborn. No.
they've a race that have been long
Or-
extinct from what our leader told us. But then
Oh.
we're here. A few of our other group mates we think might be around here as well, but we haven't been able to find them.
Well, heavens, I hope you guys can find your way back to your home. I'm not very knowledgeable of this area, but I know some. Of course, I travel. I know some basic maps. Perhaps I could offer you directions or guidance if you need. Just very polite tone,
He
like
pulls
pulling out.
He pulls out a map, and the map looks completely foreign. You've never seen any of the continents before. There seems to be a group of little islands. One that seems to be a little larger that has pieces around it. Another that seems to be almost like a weird tooth-like shaped, and then one large one that seems to have as you look at it, you can't even read the language.
Wait, hang on. I might have a spell for this.
Just
I'm
a
looking at.
question.
Yes.
Would Ven have known these islands if he was there?
No.
All right, hang
Oh,
on.
so even Ben would have known. That would have been fucking
My
good.
D&D Beyond page is being stupid. I was
What are you
thinking,
trying to roll?
I was thinking. I thought I had a spell that had something to do with written languages. Okay.
Comprehend language?
language.
Illusory script. No, I think it was.
It's
Oh
either
no, it was
comprehend language or.
illusory. It was illusory script, but that's something I do. I don't know the language at all, but
Mm-mm.
can I try to memorize the map like in my brain,
Yeah,
like
give me
for
an intelligence
later?
check.
All right, let's see how this goes. I want to see maybe I could produce a copy myself later.
Mhm.
This seems important, and
I will also
I got a
mention
5.
you get a
I'm rolling
general
so
you get the
bad.
general rough shapes of the map, but not much
Uh.
else. You also notice that you've never seen a creature like the one this dwarf is riding before. There's no such
Yeah.
thing as a creature. I mean, as someone who's very well traveled, a furry-looking rhino. You've seen what rhinos, the dragonborn rhinos look like. Most of them have like these thick scales, and the horns are typically made of a blackened material. But you've never seen one that had fur on the bottom of its belly. And both of
I'm
them
gonna
look you
like
up
look.
and down and say, "So, can you make any sense of the map where we're at?"
Sir, I'm not.
Sorry,
Where did you
don't
get
know
this
map.
map? Yes, I'm afraid I don't recognize some of these landforms. It's a bit odd. How far? She's like gonna eye his mount and be like, seen some foreigners, but I have to admit you are the most interesting I've met so far. But I'm afraid no, the map. And she's gonna like kind of pull out hers and like show it, probably like gesture. She was like, it does not match up with mine or any I've seen.
He looks at it and says, So you guys, you don't know where the towns of Woden, Thramgallen, Scottmish, Oventium?
What?
None of those register, I'm
Nope.
assuming.
Where?
Oh, I'm afraid I
Huh?
haven't heard of those before. Can I make an Arcana check on these people?
Sure.
All right, because she's like starting to think there's something. She knows there's like a time traveling tavern. Starting to think maybe there's something going on with them. Maybe it like doesn't look like. Probably doesn't even look like an old version of
From
the
the
map. does it?
past or from the
Separate
Go ahead and
timelines.
give me a roll real quick, and then I'll be moving on to another group. So.
All right, I got a 12.
Both of them, they're magical. The magic very minute, even less than what you'd expect of a child. Have even
Oh.
less magic than them. Both seem to
Even
have
less than
magic
the
that
average
makes
spider.
no sense. It doesn't feel the same as the Arcana. Like Robert gives off a strong enough Arcana that you can still feel his next to you. It feels nothing like the Arcana you're accustomed to. This is very different. Something seems off or awkward, and you sense that most of the Arcana seems to be coming from the dwarf's pockets.
Do I perceive like any outline of the pockets?
It looks to
Like,
be what
perhaps
maybe looks like a diamond or a diamond-shaped rock or something like that. Something that would be that weird shape.
No, I haven't heard of those towns before. I have to say this is most peculiar. You said you remember an earthquake.
He just nods his head and says, we're gonna find another person, and we're gonna go continue looking for our group. It was nice speaking to you, and good luck with your Grice." And they start
yes,
to head off.
If you need any more help, please come find me. I'm
Well,
always willing to help. And she's like gonna watch them a bit as they go and like turn to Robert and be like, "You're thinking this is a bit too coincidental as well,
one of them,
aren't you?"
you see that the larger fellow seems to toss a gold coin back towards you, and it lands perfectly into the cup that you set out.
Oh, thank you.
I softly growl at them.
All right. Now,
How many gold coins did I get?
You got 4 from them and 10 others from the passing fan, so it's 14 gold pieces.
Sweet. And with a 12 performance.
All right, Dulkin, as you start heading up towards the smithy, the one you were told about after getting some general directions on towards the castle, thinking, the Lord doesn't have any issues with you at all. He liked you. He gave you drink.
Yeah, he liked me.
You start heading towards there. You about an hour walk through the busy town. You see the occasional forge, but as you kind of watch them passing by, most of them seem to be more amateurish. Something you'd expect like a common guard would buy from, but not someone who's an adventurer or someone who seeks battle like you do.
Sure.
Most of their stuff probably wouldn't last very long. You finally make it up to the castle keep, and it's very small. The walls seem to be built of wood, and the keep itself seemed to be built of the similar black stone as the outer walls. And you can see the forge, and what it lists above is the forge of scraps, which is the name you were given for the master forger. And you see a young gal standing there yelling and flipping out this at the smiths. Um, she seems to be again a bit darker of skin, almost tannish, like a tannish white girl, long auburn hair. Seems to be wearing simple scale mail that almost doesn't cover her shoulders. It actually splits off and does a full sleeve. But they do not connect to the main piece. And then wearing normal pants and some boots, carrying a simple axe. She seems very pissed off overall as well. The woman seems, if you had to guess for few humans you've met, she'd probably be maybe a teenager, given the attitude, and seems to be of somewhat of nobility given her even worse attitude. Um, she seems to be yelling at him, saying, "How do you not know where these towns are? This aren't we here? Aren't we in this? Aren't we in the Nordic Empire? I was just there."
Oh. Oh.
As you hear
I'm just
something,
gonna. I'll just.
go ahead.
I'll just get close and I'll just, like kind of eavesdropping, but like looking at the things that the forge has made.
As you're looking about, you can see that these things have these masterful runes, not to the same legendary status, but these swords are made of like different materials. You see one made of a gold, one made of this very dark black metal, one made of a metal that seems to almost be a living flame as it glows and dims a bright orange. You see armor in the back that seems to be almost moving on its own. One of them seems to be talking to itself. Um, and you see one that's also what looks to be symboled after the domain of Moors. Looks almost to give off a demonic presence. And
Touch it.
the smith keeps yelling at her, says, "We are in the town of Scraps. I have told you already 3 times. I don't know what the citadel is that you're talking about. I've never heard of a Nord, and you damn humans are not welcome at my forge." And the argument continues as she says, "I was just there not 2 seconds ago when I heard this damn earthquake popped up, and then suddenly I wake up outside of this town. I was sitting in the Bolton Citadel talking to my father. He's the king. I swear I will have you killed for this."
No.
I'll butt in now and say there should be no killing here today.
She looks at you and says, "Ah, a dwarf. You're kind of
Yes.
fat for a dwarf."
That's rude.
She kind of steps back for a second. "Apologies, I'm not. I've been having a long day. Um, maybe you can help me. Your people are known for being very reliable. Where are we?"
Yes, of course. We are in the town of Scraps,
She
as
yeah,
this
stops.
fine smith has already told you.
She pulls out a map, this large map, and starts looking. "Town of Scraps. What the hell?" And she's looking. "I'm Huh?" And she's completely confused as she continues trying to figure out where in that place that is. And she's like, she pulls you over and literally grabs you with immense, actually surprising strength for someone so small and kind of skinny. Pulls you over and says, "Point it out on this map." And you're looking at this map. You can't read a damn thing on it. None of these land masses look anything like
Memorize
a map
it.
you know.
I don't recognize this map at all. None of this is this even a map?
She looks at you and says, and points up to this top left portion that's purple, and she says, "Aren't you from one of these towns?" And you can't read the languages. You just see a bunch of dots on this map.
This paper doesn't even have real words on it.
She says, "Of course it does. This is in basic dwarf. This is in dwarvish language even."
No, I know Dwarvish, and this is no Dwarfish.
This is circle-ish.
She looks at you and says, "Well, let me ask you something. Have you ever who's the current king of your kingdom?"
Mm-mm.
I assume I would actually know that.
Yeah, the last one you heard was King Alf Stone, or Alfred Stone, but as of recent, the Holy Dwarven Empire has been created as a congregation of both the dwarves of Hill and Mountain under Trinitas, the son of Logolthus the god.
That's what I will say.
She looks at you and says, "So no Woden, no Scottmish, no Thramgalin, Oventium, Oven, Stone."
No, you're just making up words again.
She looks at you and says, "Huh."
You time traveled, baby,
And she
for an
looks at
alternate
you
universe.
and says, "This is strange. Where you said we're in the town of Scraps? Do you have a map?"
No, but maybe the Forge Master does.
Forge Master's completely ignoring her and back to Scrap working on this. No, goes back to working.
No, I can direct you
Sir.
to the temple. They were looking into some earthquakes. Maybe they can help you out.
I have
She
the
looks
map,
at you and
but I'm not-
says, "Yeah, that would be helpful. What gods do you worship?"
The ones that are in the temple.
She looks at you and says, "What gods? Do
I
you
don't
name a
know
god?
what they are.
You could use your own god from your own character sheet.
The pious.
Pious." She looks, huh? And she kind of looks quizzically at the map and then back up at you. It says, "Okay, yeah, point me to this temple, please."
I will give her directions to the temple we were just at.
And she nods and says, and hands you a bag, a little leather bag, and says, "Thank you," and walks off.
Good travels. Good luck.
It's in the bag.
All
I'll
right.
open the bag and see what's in there.
There are 35 gold pieces,
Whoa.
but you don't recognize any of the people on the gold pieces.
Is it even valuable?
As you
Gold
look,
is gold.
I mean, they're gold coins, but you don't recognize any of the faces. You've never seen these. As someone who's a little traveled, you've never seen any humans looking like this on a gold coin.
Weird.
I'll just look at them very confused, and then just put that in a pocket.
You see this? Just
The
waves it
master
around.
smith looks over you, Dulk, and says, "You know, I don't care what they say. Your kind is a blessing. Thank you." As he goes back to hammering.
Now that I actually have your attention, I have questions for you.
Yes. What would you like to know?
I pull out the blue metal I have and ask him, "Do you know anything about this?"
Oh, yes, lyrium. I've got. And he pulls out a couple of swords from what looks to be a bargain bin and pulls them out and sets them on the on the table and says, "Yeah, I work with that metal all the time. It's pretty common to for a master smith to get a hold of." He looks at it and says, "That's a really well refined piece. That's probably, I'd guess, around 90% lyrium, which is dangerous to the common person to use. Where'd you get this?"
It was a gift, I think,
He looks at it and says,
but I don't actually know how to work it at the moment.
"Oh, so are you asking me to work it for you, or are you asking to be taught?"
I would like to know how to. Taught preferred.
All right, for 20 gold pieces, we can. It'll take a couple days, but I should be able to teach you how to work the metal pretty well. It's not as difficult as most people think once you have a basic understanding of it.
I don't know how long I'll be in town.
Well, I mean, if you can make the time, I can teach you. It's gonna take a little bit. It's not an easy task. This is a little bit more of a harder material, especially given the purity of this. So I would recommend you stick around for a little bit. If you've got at least a few days, then I should be able to teach you what I can to at least make weapons out of it. I won't be able to teach you how to enchant it, but
Sure. I will. I have some acquaintances in town, and I will see how long we plan on staying, and I will probably take you up on that offer.
he looks at you and says, "Tell him that the the scrap forge has recommended you at the Storm Raven Inn. They'll give you a free room and board. My treat."
That sounds wonderful. Thank you.
"You're welcome, but don't eat me out of coin." He kind of jokes. Goes back to working the metal. You notice
Now
the
we're
metal
more
he's
likely to drink
working
him out of coin.
seems to glow with this green-esque bright color that's almost fluorescent. Every time he smacks it, it gets brighter. And
Well, I will head back to town square after getting that information.
Okay.
Regroup.
Do-do-do-do-do.
All right, Ven and E2, as you guys continue wandering around, looking for the first tavern you can find, you finally come across a little seedier of a tavern. That seems to be basically a giant gear, just a wooden gear as a sign. You can smell alcohol and what smells like fresh meat in the room, or coming from the room, and you can hear a little bit of a commotion coming from inside.
Well, I tell you what. After almost dying
Mhm.
trying to
Let's
attack
get
that
a
guy,
drink.
I really need a drink. Yeah.
Let's go in here.
Maybe a
Come on.
less seedier tavern.
All right, as you guys walk in, going and laughing and joking, you see there's immediately what catches your eye, other than the fact that there aren't many patrons around, is that. Oh, by the way, if you guys do need to make notes of anything, you are welcome to type them in the rejected potential chat and then pin them for yourselves. I don't mind.
Okay.
So yes, as you are talking and
Can
chatting,
we pin things?
yeah, everyone can pin things in this chat.
Oh.
Or you should be able to. So yes, as you guys are walking in, you see, there's a few patrons, not many. It's darker. Across the room is a fire. You can smell the smell of smoked lamb on the air. You see a gnomish merchant, young man, looks to be. You did not get the name of that smith. You just remember that he works. His forge is called the Forge of Scraps. And as you're going in, you see this little girl seems to be chatting with the bartender. She seems to be sitting next to what looks to be a giant furry beast with big wings
Friend.
and a very strong beak. It looks a little angry. And this
Do I recognize it?
No.
Being well traveled in
You've
ancient as
never
fuck.
seen this before. You've read books about it, but you can't recall off the top of your head what this creature is. This
That's
little girl
Friend.
looks to
odd.
be a little human. She has a little tiny, what looks to be. Venzor, when you get a kind of a flashback to Zilpip's little flamethrower, this looks to be similar in design to this thing, as it seems to every once in a while spout a little flame out the back. And this little girl, although she's in very basic leather armor, also has very large wings.
Oh.
And you
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
guess they're
bet you,
older
like-
than 12.
What
You
kind
know
of
what?
wing?
I'm gonna pat you and say, let's go sit by them at the bar.
Yeah, sure. Could be interesting.
As you
Let's
walk up,
eavesdrop.
Good.
as
I'm
you
gonna
guys
walk up and sit beside her.
right beside her.
Yep.
Okay, as you walk up, sit
I'm
down.
still in his lap.
The gnomish bartender kind of looks at you kind of worriedly for a second and then looks back to her as he's watching her. You see her grab this
I'm
what looks to
listening
be a giant mug in her hands of what you can smell to be very strong liquor as she downs it, just
Whoa.
gulping it one after
Lass,
another.
if you're too young for that, you might want to be careful.
She looks at you and says, shut up. I'm older than you. And goes back
You
to
sure about
drinking.
that?
7,000?
She says, how old?
7,000?
You're a child, and goes back to drinking.
Well, damn, that's a first.
Whoa.
You know, elves all. Wait, you're an elf, right? Where's your sticks?
I'm a mountain elf.
Your sticks.
Mountain elf. She thinks for a second. I don't know. All your people come from a small island, anyways. I don't give a damn. She continues
No,
drinking.
we really don't.
Says, shut up and don't argue with me. I'm smarter than you.
Ask her
No,
where
you're
she's
not.
from.
By the way,
Mm,
the dog is right. Where are you from?
the dog speaks now. You a demon?
Familiar. No.
No, familiar.
Familiar. What the hell's a familiar?
Don't you know? Oh, never mind. I thought you were smart. Huh?
She starts to move, slowly, kind of like clumsily grab for what looks to be the small flamethrower on her
I
back.
move it two away from her and set it two in the seat beside me.
You
Now,
notice
don't
that this
harass
flamethrower
her.
isn't connected to a tank. It's just a little wooden object with an iron head on it. That seems to have a weird crystal in the top of it that glows with this red
What?
coloring.
Last time I saw a device like that one on your back, by the way, it was held by it was similar. It looked similar to one the tiniest dragon uses, except his uses some fluid.
The tiniest. What the hell's the tiniest dragon?
He's a gnome with a bad attitude, no body movement, and rides on a pug.
What's a gnome? And at that, the bartender looks at her. looks back at Van Zorwin and says,
It's a gnome. I pointed at the bartender and say, that is a gnome. A very fine one at that, because he's giving you drinks.
as he kind of pushes a drink in front of the two, to have E2 and Van, and kind of goes back to washing
Oh,
or
great.
cleaning a glass, kind of working. And the gal goes, I thought that was a skinny dwarf.
Nope. You're in the gnomish lands, lass.
Gnomish lands. She looks down at the glass
I do
and
believe
says,
this is a
what the fuck have I been drinking?
Ask where she's from.
gnomish
Ask where
liquor.
she's
It's
from.
pretty good, actually. Where are you from? But if you're that lost, where are you from?
She looks at you and says, what are you talking about? Where am I from? You don't recognize me?
Nope.
My people
Never seen
invaded
you
your
in my
kingdom and destroyed you and enslaved you for thousands of years, and you don't recognize a Nephilim when you see one?
Nope, haven't seen. Wait, would I recognize that?
You've never heard the term.
No, I don't even
Parallel
know what the fuck you really
universe.
are, lass. I was the one. I led my people out of the High Elf Kingdom a long time ago.
High elf. Oh, you elves are the same.
No, they're not.
She's really trying to think. Well, you can see the alcohol is getting to her face, so she's getting really red and
She's
Tell
red.
her to
supposed to be
stop.
really smart.
Huh. She looks you up and down and says, so you're immortal too, I see. Do you do yours through the making yourself young again by accident as well?
No, I drank the potion.
Yeah. Huh. If there's a potion,
It
that would
heals
be a
my
lot
body,
easier.
but I still get to feel the sense of death. Kind of owe another god now. Kind of owe a god now too. My soul.
God. She looks at you and says, what god?
Logless.
She doesn't know what a god is?
You people are weird. With that, she just falls back and passes out. And you see the creature next to her grabs a hold of her leather armor and starts pulling her upstairs.
That's weird.
She's
Says the
covered in her
talking
drinks.
dog.
What was that, Ben?
She's covered in her drinks. I tell the bartender, she's covered in her drinks, because it seems like she has the money too.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And he looks down at the big bag of gold that he's now. Oh, that's at the bottom of his little bar, and says, "You're damn right. She bought the entire bar around to my finest whiskey."
Really? She's crazy.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Dang,
This
the
didn't
thing
even.
of-
This covered more than. The only thing that was spent was a third of it. I'm amazed, really.
Damn.
Phew.
Damn.
Phew.
Do you
Anyways,
mind if we use some of that gold? Do you mind giving us some more supplies, just in case?
no, but I'll
'Cause
give
we
you as
didn't need
much as
that
you can
consumed.
drink. I don't
I'll
have enough.
accept that
Let's
challenge.
get wasted,
I
Ben.
don't have enough alcohol in the house to account for paying for this. So feel free.
You know what? Bring it down. Let's
Hey,
drink.
He brings out.
Chug,
He just
chug.
brings out a barrel, 3 barrels for the room, kind of slowly bringing them out as they're bigger than he is, and drops them in the ground. This is the finest
I'll
whiskey
assist
I
him
own.
in any way I can with lifting him.
As you kind of picks him up slightly, and says, okay," and sets it down in the center of the room. And says, "Have at it." Cracks them open, sets mugs around the table. As much as you can drink. The finest whiskey I've got.
We're drinking all of it. I don't
Okay.
care if I get alcohol poisoning.
All right. As you lot start to drink, Dolkin, you finally make it back to Robert and Zaya, who are still working at the town center.
Yeah.
No other
They
strange
have the
visitors come
sense
by.
that Zoro and Itu are drinking.
No, everyone can smell that. Yeah. So as you guys make it to center of town, what's the plan?
Vulcan,
Hey,
where have
I,
you been? Did you hear anything about the earthquake at the temple?
yeah, they were looking into kind of what was going on. Apparently, some weird shit's happening.
Yeah, speaking of, she kind of glances around and gets a bit closer. Probably, how tall is?
I don't know, like 4 feet or something.
Yeah, so she kind of leans down a bit and she's like, "We had a run-in with some interesting sirs, and they gave me a map that looked like something made up for a story, and they talk about towns that don't exist, and
That sounds
they
very
they talked
familiar.
about an earthquake, and they don't even have really magic except for some weird crystal in the person. I'm a bit not suspicious. They seem nice enough, but I'm wondering perhaps if you heard anything about uh, people from distant lands in the temple. Like, I don't know. They didn't feel magically like a minor god, so I don't think it's
No,
As
no,
Zaya's
not at the
godly.
temple.
Dolkin, as
I was
Zaya's
at a
telling you
forge though,
this,
and
you see as you're looking behind her, basically as she's leaning down, you can see over her shoulder. You see what looks to be a very large orc, green with long flowing white hair, very well built, walking around, and what you can only guess is a woman's dress. As he
Oh,
walks
that's
past,
wait. I
Zaya
can't
doesn't see
describe.
this. Nope, Dolkin just sees this in the
Do
distance.
I describe the person? Did I describe the people? People see. Can I describe that too?
Sure, you're welcome to.
Yeah, yeah. It was a dwarf. He was a lot more lean than you. It was a bit weird, darker skin, almost
Second
like
are you
time
Drakar.
Dolkin's
are you
been called
calling me
fat.
fat?
I know. I'm saying the lean dwarf, and he's dark skinned. And there's, I think, an orc with him, because I know I've seen one. White hair. I don't know. He was
At some
riding.
point while you're talking, I just kind of get, like tilt my head and get like that raised eyebrow, like, what is that? What is that orc
What?
doing?
You see
Wait,
him
what?
over walking, and you see a couple of what looks to be actual humans go up and start giving him crap, and just 2 punches as both of them go flying into
Oh,
walls,
I assume
and
I
he
see
continues
this.
walking away.
I assume I see this.
Nope, you don't know. You're still leaning over talking to Dolkin.
I will point it out after the people get punched.
What? What did I? Oh, yes. Would be the orc.
The
I
orc
guess he
looks
did
over at you,
find
at
the
Zaya,
dress.
and kind of does
She's
a
gonna
very
wave and
girlish,
smile.
the Queen's wave kind of concept here.
I'll
and then
wave
you walk-
back the same way and call. You look lovely. Color complements your eye.
Puts 2 thumbs up and continues walking off.
And then she's gonna turn to him and be like, "As you can see, that's a bit of a thing going on. So do you have any information that can point to the fact that I'm not insane and this isn't a fever dream?"
There was a lady at a forge I visited that
Lady.
had a
They
map.
said they were looking for group mates. Do you know where she went? I would really love
I
information on
sent
these
her
people.
to the temple to help her out.
Is the orc still?
He's
it's in
gone.
Chase him.
Let's. Robert. No, he was eyeing you. Let's go to the temple and look for that girl and tell her that we found for acquaintances. I really want to know what's going on with these people, because if these are actors, they're doing a really good job of making me believe they're. She kind of gestures around and she's like, I don't know, not from here? They're
They even
clearly.
had props. The lady I met had a map and didn't even have real words on it.
Yeah, did not real words. The shape, I'm trying to recall it in my head. I
As
know there was a
Zaya
bunch
and
of
Dolkin, as you guys continue to talk, you
islands.
suddenly hear off in the distance a loud explosion.
Oh.
Dolkin, this is the same direction that you remember seeing E2 and Ven go.
Uh-oh, did that guy's flamethrower explode?
We
Alcohol
should
in the flamethrower.
we should maybe check that out.
It was a girl. It was a Nephilim. It was a female.
Let's.
Of course,
So
Ben would remember this.
Zaya gets a panic. Looks like, gosh, we gotta go.
We should check that
That
out.
sounds like our people, and she's like rushing off after them,
As
ready
you,
to help.
I assume Robert follows as well. Robert, say something.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Say something.
All right. So as Zaya, Dolkin, and Robert start charging off, as you guys are running in that direction as fast as you can, you start to see what looks to be another character that seems very interesting and weird. A fully dark and almost what I can describe as what you'd expect the void to be colored as, a purplish black color or skin tone in what looks to be almost Roman centurion armor. With giant wings that remind you very similar to something like what you'd expect of a demon. And strange markings all over his face, as well as what looks to be a soldier's mace and a warhammer in each hand, charging in the same direction as you guys. And he looks to be about, you'd guess, 19, maybe, roughly.
Does he look tiefling like demonic in a tiefling sense?
He looks like what if you mixed a dragonborn and a tiefling together, this is what you'd get, because he has he has tiefling like features in the fact that he has slight tiny little horns, but he has black markings and tattoos that don't look familiar to a tiefling.
Oh,
And his
that's
wings look almost draconic.
And she's like, Zaya looks a bit taken back, and she's like, I have seen a tiefling with wings before. She's a bit, she's still focused on the task ahead, but she's a bit like taken aback, and she's like, well, wait, how does he get wings?
And the guy's running at full speed, his soldier's mace and warhammer in one hand, just running.
Oh gosh, she's rushing to try to probably beat him there. Maybe faster. He's got lighter armor because she's assuming this seems like trouble stirred up by
Then
knowing
started
her
a bar
her
fight.
group. Yeah, knowing her group, she knows it started by them. So she sees
Yeah.
his weapons out. She sees his weapons out, and
Someone
she's like, "Oh
touched it
gosh,
too
I
inappropriately.
gotta get to them first." So she's trying to outrace.
Meanwhile,
I guess.
Ven and E2, as you guys are continuing drinking, suddenly you just hear a loud explosion and yelling, "I'm not that drunk!" as a fire spouts out the window, as you can kind of see from the direction.
Maybe we should
I'm gonna
leave.
go up to where the window came from. Where the same fire
No!
came from.
I just told you we should leave.
As you walk up to the door, it's closed shut, and you hear the screaming of this person.
Knock on it.
I'm gonna knock and be like, Lass, are you all right in there? Don't burn the place
Give me
down.
a dexterity save, Ven.
Oh gosh.
God damn it.
Then you better not hit on her, or I'll hit you.
First woman E2 has been jealous
It's
of.
Ven. If you
Alright, as you manage to just jump out of the way, as you hear some of the wood creaking as soon as you say something, the door explodes into splinters and a cannonball the size of E2 comes flying through the wall. She says, "I am not drunk, damn it!" and comes marching out with a thunderous stomp.
I look at her and be like, of course you're not. You're just tipsy.
"Shut up, you ugly,
different.
insignificant worm!" And she walks downstairs.
I go back down and go back to drinking.
As you start to walk down, and following up behind her, you see the creature coming up, and you suddenly realize where you've seen this creature in books before. It's a griffin,
Oh,
long extinct to the world, since even before when you were young.
Huh. A griffin. I thought those were extinct.
And
That's odd.
as you say that, the little woman looks at you and says, "Shut up!" And grabs one of the barrels, picks it up with almost inhuman strength, and chugs it down. It's at the same time that Zaya, Dolkin, and Robert come walking up to the door, and you see
First.
another character of, again, this dark-skinned young man walk through with demonic wings, and he goes, "God damn it, Tinder, not again! I just got you, we
Oh.
just found you a drink!"
Yeah, well, she's drinking more, lad. I wouldn't
What?
stop her. She seems a little upset.
happened here? And Zaya's
She
like
bought
looking
rounds
around.
for everybody. It's fun.
so drink up.
Quick.
Rounds for everybody. I'm joining.
Are you? And
She
she's
looks
gonna
at
turn to
Dolkin
the-
and says, "Ah, a dwarf. Good, I needed a servant. Get over here and pour me a drink."
I will pour you nothing.
She
Zaya's gonna
snaps her
try to, like-
fingers, and Dolkin, you immediately feel yourself shrink a foot. And she looks at you and
Excuse
says,
me.
"You will either serve me, or I will make you non-existent."
Am I right to
Tiny
believe
man got tinier.
you are? And she's gonna kind of
He's a dwarf
Does it-
that's the size of a gnome.
She's ignoring Zaya completely. Finally turns to her and says, "Oh, demon, great. I didn't order your
Tiefling.
kind. Oh,
Tiefling. Am I right to believe you have a group of friends? One looks like a dark-skinned dwarf. There's an orc who likes to wear dresses. Very nice hair, actually. Anyway, a girl, something, and she like looks between her and the Darkwing Man. Is like, because we have a bit of a predicament here, and I would like to figure this out with you without too many eyes. And she gestures around the people because
There's
you might
not
be
many
getting.
people here.
Yeah. Oh, there's not. They probably
No.
all ran.
most
bar-
left."
She's like, well, anyway, I would like to figure out what's going on. And
As
That's
you are starting to chat, you see both characters come back up that you saw earlier, the orc and the dwarf. And they both look to the dark skin, what looks
The
to be
short one bought
devil.
drinks. Everybody drink quick.
They look say, is Tinder at it again? Is she got her superiority complex going? The kid just
Probably. She thinks
nods.
she enslaved my kind.
She goes, shut up and get that dwarf over here pouring me drinks. You weakling inferior
I
race.
just keep pouring it to drinks,
Rude.
ignoring her.
Dolkin, you suddenly grow back to normal size.
I am pouring drinks. I'm pouring drinks for myself and then drinking it and then pouring another.
Whoa.
She looks at you and just kind of glares at you. Dolkin says, your kind is a waste.
Zaya's just gonna kind of go over to the two she met earlier, and she's like, "These are your acquaintances, right?"
The dwarf that you
talking about-
recall now named Conrad, that introduced himself earlier, says, there's a good amount of us, I'm gonna be honest.
Yes. My teammate believes he sent a girl, you might know, to a temple. We were going to find you to let you know, but then we gotta. She kind of glances towards
Then
Zen
drinking
and
and,
them,
and looking
yeah,
at the griffin, being like, "Where
everyone's
the
like,
hell
"We
did
got
you
a
come
bit
from?"
side."
Ben
Well-
is staring at off the griffin as he gives it to drink and drinks for
We-
himself.
Conrad kind of looks at you and
Have
says, I'll be honest, there's about 22 of us that we're looking for.
Oh.
Like I told you, last thing we
22.
recall is that there was an earthquake. We were at a party, most of us, with our leader, getting ready for the eve of battle.
What kind of party? Can I ask where? What kind of building it was in?
It was a keep. Our leader, fearless man. He
Who is he?
He looks at you and kind of for a second, kind of skips over the subject. Says, It was the eve of battle. Next morning, we were heading out to siege out the city of these dragon folk. I can't describe them in any other way, but they've been gone for years. And the next thing we know, a large earthquake went off. An explosion came from the sea, from what we saw, and the army that we suddenly was outside our gates vanished. We don't know what happened, and then most of us woke up here. We've been looking to get back together, from what I've been told.
There's a situation. This world there's been something going on. I've heard brief news. I'm not sure much myself,
Wait a minute.
but
Wait a minute. Could you 22 have something to do with the 4 minor gods that popped up to the west?
Gods? And
the
the dwarf looks at you and says, "What's a god?"
A being of incredible power who is immortal and can literally destroy you in 10 seconds. The short one here claims to be one.
Minor gods, I don't.
The only thing the closest we have to a god is or as far as that goes, I guess would be the Nephilim or the Eclipse. Those are the best magic casters we know. They're the only ones with any natural magic to them. I mean, the Noah's got some, but they grow
the best
it.
magic casters he knows, nor he's just gonna cantrip light on the short sword.
As you do that, the light immediately vanishes, and the little girl that's completely drunk looks at you and says, "Your people's weak."
As I was saying, we just recently had a big earthquake here, and I'm starting to think simultaneous earthquakes, maybe not simultaneous, but earthquakes. You have a map of a place in a world I've never seen before, a language, she gestures to Dulkin, we've never seen before. Despite, you being races, resembling races we know, there's seems to be something going on here. So if you have
And
any
you
useful
have a
information.
freaking griffin.
Oh, Griff?
Those are extinct.
Griffin? Zaya looks around like, what?
Benzorin points at the griffin.
Little girl
Oh,
looks
yeah,
at
and-
both of you and says, "They're not extinct, you moron. We breed them. There's thousands of them."
Can
the
I
last
wait?
The griffin was killed
wait.
before I was born.
Zaya's gonna pull out her map, and it has like fertile writing on it. And she's gonna hold it out to the woman and be like, "Do you recognize this world? And do you recognize this language at all?"
Of course I can read your language. It's easy. But and she starts looking at the map. Says, "The hell? I've never seen these cities. I've traveled everywhere."
You're
So
not.
am I.
Where?
Zaya's gonna be like, "My point. Here, where we know the world you're in, griffins are extinct, and the towns you were talking about." She just to Conrad and she's like, "We don't know those towns. So, if you guys could really help explain this, this would really help us out. We're trying to figure out how you're here and maybe why.
But all of them look
Um,
puzzled completely. Yes, Robert?
say but the dumbest, smartest. Um, yeah. You come from other world?
Zaya's gonna like. That's a.
The man looks, the dark-skinned man with the demonic or the draconic wings looks at you and says, "Let me ask you something.
Yes.
How far back does your history go?"
Our history, it's well, I'm not exactly a
Over
history
7,000
expert,
years.
but
I'm a living
yeah.
testament to that.
yeah,
All right. And you don't know who the Eclipse and the Nephilim are?
Nope,
No.
never heard of them.
we don't know some of the things you had, like what your friend Conrad here, whatever he rides, is not a
Conrad
beast
looks
I've
down,
seen.
says, "It's a telepa. These are pretty common amongst the
Telepa.
dwarves." He looks over at Dulcan and says, "You've had one, I bet."
I've never seen that thing in my life.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have those here. And she
Just
is
like the
Dibus
griffin
here with
there
us?
is
Yeah.
extinct
No,
here.
no,
She's
Dibus
like-
is
she's-
gone. Dibus has been
Oh
gone.
no, Dibus. Oh well, I'll find him later.
And he
like-
looks and says, "What about we've had? All right. Well, maybe you don't recognize this version. My Telepa is one of the common birth. The more valued ones are the big looking shelled ones. They look like turtles of sorts, I guess would be with turtle shells that look with rhino like bodies.
Turtle can walk?
Okay, do I
That
know?
Nope.
sounds
Can I
like
make a
nothing
I
I've
roll
love
ever
for
seen.
that?
Robert
I've been
so
on the
much.
world for
Zaya, you've never heard
7,000
anything like
years,
that.
like I said.
I don't know what that is, and it definitely sounds like an I don't
Is
want to
this-
mess with.
Is it so
I
hard to
want a meat
believe?
walking turtle.
Is it so hard to believe that someone can come from an alternate universe?
This is alternate universe, but he looks at the map. He says, "No, that we didn't."
It's maybe hard to believe how they
Alternate
got
timeline
here.
Okay, can I-
possibly?
A different timeline too.
What's up, Robert?
I extend my hand and point towards Zaya's map, and then just like extend it, and then just like try to bring it try to have someone motion it towards me, and
I'll
then
move it over because I see
I
a gesture.
point to
Don't
the
ruin
oth-
my map.
and then I point to the other map, and then try to motion it towards me as well.
As you, Conrad kind of hands you the map and just says, "Yeah, feel free."
Map's different.
Well, as you start to look at the
Yes.
maps, they line up. You see the
Oh.
Orcish lands of Armenia, on both of them. But the difference is on
Ah.
the map that Zaya has, doesn't have the islands to the south or the big continent to the west. On their
Isn't
map,
the
they don't
Orcish
have any of
lands-
the stuff to the east. They don't have the Drafican territories or where you guys are at currently.
Countless ones, apparently.
You are of a place like ours, but not like ours. This is like something you'd hear in a story, honestly.
Parallel world?
Yeah, parallel but
Hold on.
opposite.
The Orcish lands on the
No,
map,
there's
they're
some-
both the same.
Yes, they match
Which
up identically.
means there's something going on in those lands for
That's
them
where
to
we
be
send-
identicals.
The
I
magic,
then-
the minor gods. You
I then
mentioned
try to
stuff.
like move the map, Well, I tried to make Robert move the maps closer, like have the Orcus lands actually line up.
on
It
the
looks,
map.
it surrounds like a giant globe. From what you'd guess, they match up almost perfectly.
Wow.
This is. And
What does
this
Zaya's
mean?
gonna
I
look
might
at
be
the wing,
drunk or tired, but this is crazy.
the winged person be like, "Are you not a tiefling? Like I've never seen
He looks at
one
you
of
and
us
says,
with
"No,
wings before."
I'm an Eclipse." And he puts out a hand and he says, "My name's Mitchell."
And she's gonna take her hand, shake it and be like, "I'm Zaya. I'm a." She's gonna like gesture to her tail, Horace, and be like, "I'm a tiefling. Clearly, we're not the same."
And Nixian
Uh,
says, "No, but He looks at you for a second and says, huh. Have you heard of, what's that name? There's an old name from our histories that we can... I can't remember her name. There was a woman. She's credited with being the one who granted life to the world, but I can never recall her name.
Could you describe her appearance?
I don't know. She's got what looks to be a long beak like an avian, and big eyes. Kind of a shorter person. Wears a black cloak.
Hmm.
Uh-oh.
The description sounds very similar to what most priests describe Alenta the First as.
Alenta the First?
He looks. He says, "No, we not that we." He looks. He says, "But." And he looks over at Conrad for a second. He says, I think I could probably figure this out if I given time." He looks and says,
Well,
and he starts to panic. He's like, "Oh shit! Wait, my fiance!" And he starts running off outside. And Conrad says, You're not married yet. Let the poor girl go."
that's well, we have. I'm not sure what we plan to do, but if you're gonna be here a few days, I'm sure we could stick around possibly to help figure this out for all our sakes, because I feel like parallel worlds is a big topic that should be addressed.
The dwarf looks at you and says, "Yeah, but we probably should
Dwarves
do it where there's
talking together
no
is bad.
alcohol." Before my compatriot there, he looks over at the little girl that he referred to as Tinder, before she blows something else up. Last time she got
Yeah.
drunk,
She
she
already
blew up
paid
an
for all the
entire
alcohol here in
continent.
the bar.
What, Ben?
She already paid for all the alcohol here in the bar. It'd be a shame to waste her money.
She looks
Mhm.
at the guy looks at the elf and says, "Yeah, but the last time she got drunk and she got so drunk she blew up an entire continent."
Ah, don't worry. I'll block the blast.
No,
I'll grow back.
I don't. you don't understand.
Let's go somewhere else. I believe Tolkien said he sent your friend. I'm assuming.
I have a room
his-
somewhere.
Token pipes up.
But the temple, I think, is where your other one of your other acquaintances is at. Perhaps that could be a place to
Yes, I
meet.
sent one
But
of
then
your
again,
one of the
people
lost folk to the temple.
Yep.
I'll tell you what. Give me where you're staying. My party is heading out anyways because a few of our members aren't in the town from what we've been able to find. So we're there. I'm gonna be sending them out. I'll be around town
Yeah, I
though.
put some banana on it to
So
make it. He keeps his passing in his.
to say, good to know. He says, the rest of my party's heading out of town. They're heading towards a place called Dragon's Gate, is from what I was told. We have a few more
That's where
members
we're
out
headed.
that
Ties
direction,
together.
but I'll be around town for a few more days. And so will my friend that just ran off there. He'll be joining me. The two of us will be shopping, looking for more information. So, you let me know where you're staying. I'll make sure to catch up with you as soon as I can.
Yes, we'll be keeping our eyes out if we can find any information. But again, we are about probably as confused as you are.
At this point, Ben's gonna make sure to take one of the kegs that hasn't been barrels that hasn't been opened, and be like, "I'm not leaving without this."
Then puts banana on a pacifier and hands it to you two.
You do as baby.
All right, so yeah, and the guy looks at you and says, "That's fine. Take what you can." And he walks, or his little mount walks over and he picks up Tinder and says, "Come on!" And she starts yelling about something and kind of just starts to snore and passes out as she's being dragged through the street. And says, "I'll catch up with you." And he's like,
Will
"Oh, where
do.
are you staying, by the way?"
I don't remember the name of the inn. But
He called
the
it
Raven something. I
Storm
Raven
Raven.
something,
The
yeah.
Storm Raven.
Storm Raven.
All right.
Everything's Raven.
I'll find you. And then he starts. The rest of the group seems to walk off. And as you guys
Let's
head
head to
towards
this
the
room.
inn, arriving with no other incidents, luckily, the night gets quiet. You lot get your meal, getting a full night's rest. That's a long rest for everyone. We will come
Fun.
back.
And drinking as
next-
much as that whiskey.
We will come back
Ale
next
is
session to find out more of the mystery of the earthquake and all that has happened. Thank you for all who've watched. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for the players for playing along in this new and expansive world that me and Fuka have been working up. Big appreciation to my old team of Killtech Studios, the game studio that I used to run, for helping me originally write the Clash of Legends series. We will be implementing more and more of this world into the D&D world known as the History of Silencia, and look forward to that. Me and Fuka are hard at work, and if you're interested in working with us or writing with us, please feel free to shoot me a DM with samples of your writing and why you think you'd be good for working with this stuff. Otherwise, have a great time, enjoy yourselves, and I will catch you all later.
Bye.
Bye.